Oh, is it fun again at Coors Field? What a 5-day run it has been already for the Rockies. Hits aplenty as the Rockies bludgeoned the Houston Astros and did more of the same last night against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Coors Field, always the place to be for baseball, and this afternoon it'll be Game 2 of the series between the Rockies and the Dodgers. Hi everybody, Jack Corrigan from News Radio 850 KOA filling in for Drew Goodman again this afternoon. And George, anytime you win, it's fun, but the way the Rockies have been winning right now, this is crazy.
Well, you're not kidding. You start crushing the baseball, sending the ball over the fence. You start to get some starting pitching that works. The bullpen works. Everything. When you average 10.5 runs a game, folks, it's a happy day to come to the ballpark. 13 home runs over this 5-game span. And, Jack, to look at the team ERA at 4.89 is better than what it was, but they're not walking people. 35 strikeouts, 8 walks. And I think 8 walks, that's the key to this whole series so far.
And what's been nice over the last couple of days for this ball club, Michael Kadire filling in the 4-hole with the absence of the injured Troy Tulowitzki has certainly grabbed a hold of that spot.
Everything that what you thought you were going to get with Michael Kadire, you're going to have some ups and downs, but there's going to be a whole lot of ups. 476, 10 for 21, a couple of home runs, 10 RBIs, batting cleanup and spelling for Tulowitzki right now. It's also the people behind and in front of him that have benefited from him in the lineup in the 4-hole also. He's everything that I thought he would be when he came here. When I checked out with Hall of Fame guys like Bert Blyleven, said, what kind of guy is Kadire? He said, you're going to love him to death. Fans, I think you're liking him.
Well, I think we're all liking what he has done so far, certainly his teammates. And one of the things what a winning streak can bring to a team, you get a little swag back. What does swag mean? Well, we'll find out when we come back. Stay with us.
game 2 of 3. Welcome back to Field Level. I'm Jenny Kavnar. It's clear that the Rocks, as of this week, a very different team. 53 runs in their 5-game win streak. Jim Tracy told me today he likes that this team has embraced a new identity. Most defining moments in a baseball season, that identity came at random. Jeremy Guthrie lost in a card game, and one of his teammates told him he lost his swag. He needed to get it back, and it seemed to stick as a team motto.
A week ago, maybe, kind of with Guthrie, we're trying to tell him to get his swag back.
We heard that we had no swag, and we knew we had swag, so we want to show everybody else that we have swag. So hopefully we can keep the swag going.
You know, swag came, I think, from the Beaver and in Tulo maybe. We took off with it. I don't know who keeps posting it in the clubhouse as far as taping it all over the walls and stuff in the dugout, but I don't care, whatever it takes, because it sure does feel good.
Well, in addition to the tape in the dugout, there is a Justin Bieber cutout in the clubhouse that has a thought bubble that says the word swag. Call it confidence, demeanor, or style. The Colorado Rockies are going to call it swag this season, and they hope that swag continues to show up in the box score. We are counting down to first pitch here on Root Sports. Coming up next, it's the Rockies and the Dodgers with Jack Corrigan and George Frazier.
Toyota stores. Toyota moving forward. By CenturyLink. Fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at Southwest.com. Back here at Coors Field, some threatening skies, but we're going to get this one underway right on time as Juan Nicasio heads to the hill, looking to duplicate the effort he had the last time he faced the Dodgers. Tony Gwynn Jr., they won't have quite as many sons of big leaguers in the starting lineup this afternoon for the Dodgers, but here's the rest of the Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Besides Tony Gwynn Jr., Elian Herrera, Bobby Abreu, the top three, Andre Ethier, Adam Kennedy, James Loney. There is a very heavy left-handed influence to this lineup. A.J. Ellis, D. Gordon, and on the mound, Aaron Harang.
I think part of that left-handed influence, 6 home runs against Nicasio by left-handers. They've hit .293, right-handers .320. Nicasio's pitched well at home at times, but this year has not been his friend. 2-1, 704 and run average in 30 innings, 40 hits given up, with 6 home runs. He still struck out 29. That ability is still there. Be aggressive, attack that strike zone, and get after it.
Defensively for the Rockies to begin this ball game, it'll be Gonzalez, Fowler, and Tyler Colvin in right field. That's the setup on the infield. Nelson, Scutaro, LeMahieu, and Cuddyer, with Will Nieves doing the catching for Juan Nicasio. And George, I would think as you see Michael Cuddyer at first base, some of that to take a little bit of the strain off him. You don't have to run around as much at first base as you do in right field. Night game after a day game, and it'll be his 4th game at first base.
Well, he played first. I mean, and the other side of that is you give his legs a break, but you keep the bat in the lineup. And where he's been hitting them, he hadn't had to run the bases real hard.
The other thing I was going to point out, I mean, it works because it's day game after night game. Not bad to have a veteran guy like Nieves catching Nicasio this afternoon.
Well, I would agree with you there 100%. I think having Nieves behind the plate obviously going to catch the young Latin pitcher and Juan Nicasio, and he'll move side to side. He'll work hitters. The guy that's been around, he knows. He can tell him, giving directions immediately about the possibility of a bunt from Gwynn.
Nelson way out of the grass at third. And we start the ball game with a strike. Tony Gwynn, couple of hits last night, including a double. And quickly throwing strikes. That's what Juan wants to do. And have that downward action.
You got downward action, and when it's down in the zone, you'll see the velocity peak it at 95, 96 miles an hour. Location is so much better. I don't know if you took notice to exactly what Nieves did there. Veteran catcher. He gave breaking ball sign, and he pointed. Throw it right behind the home plate point. And this is where it comes to a point back there. Throw it in the dirt. Let's see if we can get him to chase it a little bit. And I like the way veteran guys work, obviously, and you see that from Ramon Hernandez. You're starting to see more of that for Marlene Rosario.
And LeMahieu got caught between hops, and the Dodgers get the leadoff man on.
Left-handed hitter Gwynn with decent speed also on top of that. So when you do get the soft roller like this, LeMahieu kind of caught in between. That's a hop he should have handled, though. That hop came up to him, but it came up in a hurry, but he was able to recover and get the ball, but not with Gwynn's speed.
Dodgers made 4 errors last night. The Rockies with a miscue to start the ball game. Elian Herrera will hit. Switch hitter. A couple of at bats last night with a hit. Lots of new faces in this Dodgers lineup, with injuries taking away Kemp and Mark Ellis and Juan Uribe.
Well, I thought it was interesting downstairs. A lot of scouts here today. Toronto's here with Eddie Lynch. You've got Pat Jones with Kansas City's here. And you sit around listening, visiting to guys, and you say to them, the injuries have really hit the Dodgers, but they all are in agreement. It's 35 to 45 players to get through a season anymore with all the injuries that happened during the course of the year. By the way, the Rockies, 4 errors in the last 10 ball games. When they do make an error in a ball game, 9-17. When they don't, 13-12.
Nelson remains up close. Try to get a little action going. Don Mattingly for his big boys, Abreu and Ethier. 1 ball, 1 strike on Herrera. Breeze could be a factor today. The flags atop the scoreboard are whipping pretty good. You see out of the west at better than 20 miles an hour. You always know it's a little breezy when guys' uniforms flap.
particularly a pitcher's uniform.
Another throw to try and keep Gwynn close, and that was a little bit better effort by Nicasio. Gwynn 7 out of 10 in stolen bases, so you certainly are well advised to keep an eye on him over there. With the Dodgers team not scoring as many runs of late, the efforts to move a runner along a little bit stronger right now.
Well, they have to. They, one way or another, hit and run, bunt and run, do some things because they want to get to Abreu, Ethier, guys that have the power on that left-handed bat for Don Mattingly.
Well, the error by LeMahieu put Nicasio immediately into the stretch. There goes Gwynn, and the ball's hit up the middle, recovered by LeMahieu, and he gets it to first in time. Nice play by DJ to turn back and get the ball and get the runner as Gwynn moves into second.
Yeah, not easy to do either. He's covering the bag up, and he's going to go to the bag immediately, but when he saw the ball's hit 10 feet to the right, doesn't make the play. Able to recover with some long strides and a strong throw to Kadire at first base. A really nice job of putting the brakes on and getting in a position to catch the baseball.
Because he's a big man and DJ's about 6'3", you don't realize his quickness, his speed. Stole a base last night. He had 11 stolen bases with the Sky Sox, so he can move pretty well.
Moves well, particularly the first 2 strides. He can really get out on his range very well.
Bobby Abreu did not play last night. Been with the Dodgers just about a month now.
Well, Ned Colletti once again grabbed a guy that had been released by the Angels. He's come over to the Dodgers. He's hit .318, 7 RBIs, and with the loss of Kemp, the burden to drive in runs really falls on Abreu now. He and Ethier are going to have to carry the load.
5 doubles and a triple for Abreu. Scudero out by second, and a close play. Marco just sort of strolled his way over to second base, and they nearly got Gwynn.
Something Tulowitzki does a lot. Scudero this time a little bit of a late flip by Nicasio with his legs, but on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo you can see the hand did get in. Very important for a middle infielder, catch the ball before you apply the tag. A lot of them try to go too quick. Ball seems to evade the glove.
2 balls and no strikes on Abreu. (1,337 RBIs). Todd Helton's got 1,334, and the 2 of them are right on the same list in doubles as well. Wind kicking up some dust.
Man, I looked at these center field flags, Jack, and that, I mean, it turned unbelievable right up here. Those flags, I was looking up on top. I mean, that was incredible up there.
Yeah, that's a little more than 20 miles an hour now.
When you can hear the whipping in your headset, you know it's blowing pretty hard. And all the outfielders are going, please, button down the hatches. We're starting to fly away in the booth.
Can't get careless here on a 3-0 count.
There goes a duck feather just flew by. Did you see that?
Yes,
Came right in the booth, went right back out again. Working everything away, trying to eliminate the power of Bobby Abreu. He really likes the ball middle, half in, and as you get farther along in your career, Don Mattingly and I talked a little bit about that today. You'll see a lot of veteran guys crowd the plate a little bit and start to cheat on the fastball. Just basically take the breaking ball out of any thought process whatsoever.
Yeah, that left foot, the back foot is just right up to the intersection of the back line and the line on the inside part of the batter's box. Almost that time. Gwynn, thinking he might be getting into action, nearly was caught.
You know what he did? He let his knees straighten up, Jack. He got out there on that lead, and all of a sudden he popped up straight. When he popped up straight, they made the move, and it was quick.
Just an eyelash. Had that throw been a little bit more towards left field.
Pretty good chance then.
And ball 4. So the Dodgers have 2 on with 1 out for their best hitter, Andre Ethier. Here's the Chevy Dare to Compare. The Chevy Equinox 32 highway miles per gallon outperforms its competitors. Chevy, made for Colorado. These two guys faced off in a meeting a little less than a month ago, and both performed well in the ball game. On Nicasio in a jam here to start this first inning, with Andre Ethier second in the National League in runs batted in to Carlos Gonzalez. 1 for 4 last night, and good numbers against Nicasio. He'll hit it by LeMahieu, and that will score Tony Gwynn Jr. And the Dodgers take advantage of the error and lead it 1-0. 45 ribbies for Ethier. Abreu stopped at second. 7 for 11 now against Nicasio for Andre Ethier. Wynn really whipping. Starting to push everything around the park.
I keep waiting on Toto to fly by.
No
Man,
kidding.
They're really coming out of there.
Adam Kennedy, another left-handed batter.
More of a veteran presence, even though he doesn't hit probably the way he had in years past, when mixed in a little more power and a higher average. He's at 213, but it's still a guy that will work the count. Pinch hit last night, came up empty. Washington Nationals are about to end up in Washington, Jack.
The flag is just hanging on. It's on top of the rock pile in center field, and here comes the rain. 1 ball, 1 strike on Kennedy, and taking some of the flags down because of the breeze and some rain. One pitch. Good velocity, good location. 1-2. With Seattle last year, Adam Kennedy, the Angels, the Cardinals, among others. Dyer will only get the 1 at first. Runners move up, 2 away on the ground out by Kennedy. We hope you'll join in the conversation with us with Toyota Talk. Text Toyota to 720-720. Share your insights or questions on this game. Plus, you can learn how to win a $500 gas card.
Jack, I know you went to Cornell.
Yes, sir.
And I went to Oklahoma, but those flags are blowing really hard to the right, but the clouds aren't moving above us. Is that a bad thing?
I
know in Oklahoma, when they start going in circles, you go to the ditch somewhere or get a bathtub. But they're not going in circles. But they're just not going anywhere.
Runners in scoring position with 2 outs for James Loney. Didn't play in last night's game other than to pinch hit.
Well, if there's the ballpark he likes to hit in, it's this one.
inside part of the plate to even the count.
Look at those numbers at Coors Field: 9 home runs, 52 RBIs, 50 ball games, 330 average.
And he has really struggled on the road this year, except here. 2 balls and a strike. That's what I was referencing. Look at that, more than 100 points.
Big time difference.
Yep.
The long ball, you see that a little bit out on the road, but at home a little higher, greater average and RBIs.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Dodgers with a run home. Nicasio hoping to make it just the one. Getting ready to have pitched 23 in the inning.
A little longer. You had to walk. You've had some 3-2 counts. You know that you've been able to get the outs, but it drives the pitch count up.
Got him. Good breaking ball by Nicasio. And the Dodgers have to settle for 1 unearned run. Rockies coming to bat here at Coors Field. Dodgers have a 1-0 lead. Dexter Fowler and the red-hot Rockies offense will try and counter against Aaron Harang. Rest of the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for Jim Tracy. Marco Scutero and Carlos Gonzalez follow Fowler. Middle third, Kadire, Colvin, and Chris Nelson, who had the pinch hit home run last night. Nieves, LeMahieu, and Nicasio against Aaron Harang.
And he has turned it around. Month of May, 2-1, 267. Prior to that, a struggle. 1-2, 572 earned run average. You see, is making his 11th start this season. 13 strikeouts, new Dodger record. 6'7". You know, I started to think about guys, tall Dodger pitchers. Manny Mota,
yeah,
6'8". Rick Sutcliffe was 6'7". That's a couple.
Was Rick Rhoden that tall?
No, he about 6'5", 6'4".
That was about a 57-footer. 1-1 the count on Fowler. Dex working on a 6-game hitting streak. Johnny Roush ever play for them in the process?
You know, I didn't think about that. Yeah, he's 6'11". Who was the left-hander, the big tall guy? I think he pitched one a little bit. Hellickson, was that the guy's name?
Yes. Driven by Dexter. Winning off the base of the wall. Dex at second. He's thinking 3. The throw will not be in time. Dexter Fowler makes it a 7-game hit streak with his 5th triple of the year.
Well, does he like the leadoff spot or what, folks? This is kind of fun to watch for Dexter. Wind's blowing out right now to right field, but that had anything to do with this laser shot. See on that Mike Shaw shot right there, it's right down the middle of the plate. Dexter really staying on line, didn't pull off the baseball hit, stayed where it needed to, and then the line shot right off the base wall. Ethier's going to get to it in a hurry, but the off-balance throw cost time for the throw to be made into third base. Dexter with a head first slide, safe at third.
Dexter, as we said, it's his 5th triple. It's his 44th all-time as a Rocky, and now tied for 2nd with Larry Walker in the 3-base hit category. I think he took a knee or a shoulder against the jaw when he slid into third base. See if we can see what happened at the end. Boy, did he turn it into another gear right there.
It looked like his jaw hit the right knee of Herrera at third base. A little bit up into the shoulder, maybe.
Back to third.
Foul ball.
A foul ball. It hit the bat on a pitch that sent Marco Scutaro to the deck.
And this isn't even close. You don't see this from Harang trying to come inside. Ducked out of the way and it caught right on the end of the bat, shot towards their dugout. You see it right here on the Mike Shaw. Just missed the helmet and just caught the bat.
Marco lines it into the glove of Loney at first base. Scutaro trying to take it to right field, and James Loney robs him of a hit.
You know, as a pitcher, your thought process here is you're going to have a tough time preventing the run from scoring at third. But that ball was hit extremely hard. I mean, Scutaro trying to do what he needed to do, hit the ball to the right side. They're giving up the run. Loney was able to jump and snag that line shot off the bat of Scutaro.
Marco's had a few line drive outs this year. But it's Cargo's time now to try and get the Rockies back to even.
6 home runs total by Harang that's been given up. 5 of those to left-handers and 112 at bats. 1 to 111 at bats to a right-handed bat.
Boy, Chad Fairchild got whacked. Scott Garrett, excuse me, the Rockies assistant head trainer, out to talk to Fairchild. Got him somewhere left hand or left arm, George, I think.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Let's see on the follow through here what happened with this. And that ball ricocheted right off of the bat, went straight back and caught him flush. The one probably place it's not protected at all. Oh, that was a clean shot too, right on the forearm.
Yeah, and with the way his arm was angled, the bone doesn't have a whole lot of muscle covering in that area when your arm is angled that way, and I'm sure he went numb momentarily in that area. Rest of his fellow umpires with him. This is Tom Halligan's crew. It's Tom wearing number 20, Brian Onora number 7, and then Alfonso Marquez, the other umpire. And now the rain returns lightly, but it's falling again. There might be some question if Chad Fairchild can continue.
Yeah, and if there is, that's where you'll work with 3 umpires, and typically the guy working at second base will go put the gear on. The guy working at first is going to work the game tomorrow.
I'm assuming we'll have to change here.
They can just add the rotation to go on up again.
And that would mean Brian Onora would take over as the umpire, and
somewhat appears like he's a little bit kind of in shock. I mean, you notice how Scotty's got a hold of his belt just in case things start to get a little wobbly for him.
You have to have enough flexibility for an umpire in terms of what he's going to be able to wear with protection, because they run around when they rotate to cover bases based on a play. So it's not like you could go and put him in a suit of armor back there.
No, you're right. See, this is where the chief of umpires, Tom Hallion, is talking now and saying, you know, we're just not going to mess around with it. If you don't think you can go, you're not going to go. You're going to make sure you're all right behind the plate. This is, you know, these games are important. You're important to us. We don't need anything like this for you to go in another direction and not be able to do this and squat down and stay focused and do everything you need to do.
Well, Chad Fairchild going to stay in. You can already see the welt on his forearm where that ball struck him flush.
Yeah, it's black and blue.
It's black and blue already. He may try and tuck that arm a little bit behind his body here, you think?
Yeah, stand around. Wherever the catcher goes, I'm going. I'm not going to stay off to him left or right.
One strike to count on Gonzalez with Fowler at third. Harang again nearly threw a ball to the backstop. And that was a fastball, George, at least by the velocity. Having trouble in this wind getting the
I think
field?
so. Yeah, having its balls dry out a little bit, hands drying out a little bit. It's not to the point of being able to hang on to the ball.
He jams Gonzalez, and boy, leadoff triple, and he gets the next two. And the Rockies will need a 2-out hit. Good pitch by Aaron Harang.
Kadire does not have a hit against Harang in his career. He's 0 for 3. But 4-hole hitters this year have hit .370 against Harang. So it's a good time to break that streak.
Well, Dexter Fowler was 1 for 10 against Harang before his leadoff triple.
I like that even a little bit better then, huh?
Michael's 7 for his last 12, and he'll foul it out of play down the right side. Wearing the glasses with almost clear lenses. I'm sure that's because of the wind.
Yeah, a lot of guys that wear contacts, or even without contacts, try to keep your eyes from watering up. Harang has not got the outside corner on a couple of pitches. He's already had to stare down with Fairchild. One was a slider, that was the fastball. Caught the lower quadrant. You see that on the forward strike zone. Outside corner.
They're set up there again, but he went wider with that pitch. 2-1 on Kadire. With the 8 RBIs over the last couple of days, Michael up to 36 on the season. Three and 1. Dodgers got an unearned run in the first inning. Rockies with a leadoff triple from Dexter Fowler, but a line out and a pop out. They haven't gotten him home yet. Well hit to left center field, but in that wind, does he have enough? Yes, he hits it off the top of the wall. Fowler will score. Kadire will hold with a double. That ball looked like it was going to get out of here. It hit right at the very top of the wall, beyond the reach of Tony Gwynn Jr.
Is that not amazing? When that ball left the bat and the fly to the baseball, I thought the only person that had a shot at that had to buy a ticket today. Deepest part of this ballpark at Coors Field. Fastball out over the middle of the plate. You could really see it there on the forward strike zone. Kadire elevated, belt high, turned on it, and got it. I mean, it's 2 feet shy of getting out of the ballpark.
He'll settle for his 18th double and his 37th run batted in. Game tied now. Tyler Colton will look at a breaking ball for a strike. I was like you, George, in the way Gwynn left his feet. I thought for sure that ball had to get over the wall, but sometimes that wind that's out of the west cuts across the field and knocks the ball down.
You think it would knock it down. I thought it would, because I've been watching the flags, and it's still the same type of movement on the wind here.
The Rockies answer back, and Tyler Colvin's trying to give them the lead. And he's down 2 strikes.
Wow. Seemed a little low for me. But strike zone says no.
1 hit for Colvin against Terang. It's a home run. That's come in 5 at bats. Got him with some high heat, and the Rockies settle for 1. Michael Kadire comes through. We're tied here at Coors Field.
I got more.
What?
You do? Because I got glasses like these.
Yeah, I got more. There is some that were clear.
Yeah? That are like this? But I like this. It's just a little bit darker, just a little easier on the eye.
Well, that was Michael Kadire on Wednesday trying to decide if he needs a new pair of sunglasses for these day games. Well, today playing first base, he went through and looked at several of his teammates' sunglasses, and he decided on a pair of Oakleys. As the guys mentioned earlier, they're clear right now, and that's because they're transitional lenses. They darken up as the sun comes in his eyes, and he thinks with the shadows today, it may help him at first base a little more. But the real secret why Michael Kadire has new sunglasses has to do with his day game numbers. He says he's very fond of day game based on his stats, and when you take a look at it, Michael Kadire plays much better in the nighttime. He clearly has way more RBIs and home runs, but today, so far, so good for Michael Kadire. Maybe he just needed a new pair of sunglasses, guys, even though it's raining. I don't know. He might need some windshield wipers.
Is it raining down there?
It's pouring down here.
I think you should come upstairs.
I think the wind may end up being more of a factor, though. Right before we came on camera, my umbrella flipped inside out. So that tornado that you were speaking of, George, may be on its way.
So you and Mary Poppins are having fun.
Yes.
You can get out of there and come upstairs.
Thanks for your permission. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, get out of there. I don't know who's making you stay in the camera well, but get out of there.
Are you guys done now?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Michael Kadire, I mean, with the day-night numbers, maybe he should be in the cast of True Blood or something.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
2-2 to A.J. Ellis. Full count.
I'm a little bit surprised. Maybe I shouldn't be, but Ellis with 5 home runs, 7 doubles, 1 triple, the extra base threat. 23 RBIs and 136. Another hit here. That bat shattered, but still the base hit to right field.
He has been on base between hits or walks in 40 of the 42 games he has played. He probably, for all of the other things that Matt Kemp and Andre Ethier and the rest, George, I think the totally unexpected results from A.J. Ellis have helped the Dodgers get off to the start they've had.
And the calling of what he's worked with behind his with this pitching staff that he has, calling ball strikes and trying to get things through the path of a game as a signal caller.
D. Gordon, the slender shortstop, 0 for 3 last night. Really has issues against left-handed pitching. And he's happy to see the righty Nicasio out there. Nelson way up on the grass. He went too far, 2 strikes. One more note about A.J. Ellis, just what you were referencing, George. I mean, 5 homers, 23 RBIs, 2 homers and 28 RBIs in the first 87 games of his big league career.
The Dodgers seem to find catchers. You know, the thing about Russell Martin, great job he did, now doing it for the New York Yankees. Ned Colletti's on this trip, their general manager. Trying to think of the kid's name at AAA. Frederick, is that what it is? Federico, maybe?
Line to left, and Gonzalez tried to decoy Ellis, but D. Gordon took a fastball up and away, and the Dodgers again with a threat.
I think they have a pretty good catcher in him coming along. There's a kid named Erickson that caught in high A and Double A a year ago that did a nice job.
Who wants tacos? Remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 p.m. and get your Rockies taco special. Just what you have been referencing, and we've talked about it over on the radio side as well, George, the Nicasio fastball, when it gets flat, it's
pretty
hittable.
Yep, very hittable. Well, like anybody else's. I mean, Ismael Rogers throws 98 miles an hour, but when it's elevated and flat, it's pretty easy to hit.
Harang bunts it to third. That's a good play by the veteran pitcher. The only play for Chris Nelson was to first. And one thing about Aaron Harang, he'll do the little things. 3rd sacrifice bunt of the season. So the Dodgers, who scored an unearned run in the first inning, now get back to the top of the order with 2 shots with men in scoring position. And with a guy like Gwynn, you still have to keep alive the bunt possibility. And Tony Gwynn, a little bit like A.J. Ellis, he has been surprisingly effective in the clutch for the Dodgers this year.
You know, he's averaged about 283 left-handed, 283 facing right-handers. I mean, he's very consistent. Takes sometimes guys a little bit longer to figure out the game and to have success. He was with Milwaukee at the big league level, a little bit time with San Diego, his dad's former team, but really flourished when he got here in a Dodger uniform a year ago.
And with injuries and some issues about who is going to play left field, he has probably gotten his most significant amount of playing time.
Big base hits with men. A lot of times leadoff guys don't get opportunities with men in scoring position. But Gwynn this year, 12 for 26, a 462 clip. You normally don't see that out of leadoff man, although Dexter has been very good.
He's in a great situation now, too, with 2 balls and no strikes.
But a guy that has the development of a secondary pitch, and that's kind of where Nicasio is at this point. You can look dead red fastball and just try to keep a calm swing. He got it, but it wasn't a strike.
3-0 with Herrera on deck. And that's some of the young issue there. You just look at that Fox strike zone, George, and the 3 misses are all over the place. It's not like he's missing in the same location.
Rare back throw hard and hope I get it over the plate versus staying calm with that front side, getting very good extension with it, and throwing the strike. A better pitch and better delivery there at 93.
Wind has diminished a little bit, and
it's down to about 40.
And the rain is less of an issue, although it's still coming down. Looks like it wasn't just Jenny's umbrella that lost out to the wind. Kadire will come home, and they have got A.J. Ellis. How about that for Michael Kadire? Not a lot of games at first base, but made the good choice. He was going to go to first, then realized he had a chance at the plate.
And he also had A.J. Ellis by a lot. When he went right here to the bag, I mean, I thought he had stepped on it. I had to double take. Just missed stepping on first and then throwing to the plate, but obviously an opportunity to get the lead run. Wanted to get his footing correctly under him to make the accurate throw, and he did.
Gordon moved to third, but now 2 outs in the inning. And a chance for Nicasio to escape. Good play on the ground out off the bat of Herrera's first time up by DJ LeMahieu at second. Here's another time, George, where again, not to say it doesn't happen to veteran catchers, but another example of nice to have Nieves back behind the plate. A very good pitch blocker. And with a guy like Gordon at third base, you've got to have confidence in your catcher that you can throw those pitches down.
Plays huge dividends for you as a pitcher. When a guy walks out to the mound and he says, throw the split in the dirt, throw that hard slider, I'll block it. It's not going anywhere. Don't be afraid to do that. It's going to be fine.
Keep that guy from maybe squeezing it a little too hard.
Squeezing a little bit, bouncing something out front. I mean, it's all where it needs to be when you got that guy sit behind the plate you can really trust.
Two balls and a strike. And Nicasio, like Harang, perhaps having some issues getting the proper grip on the baseball, more from the wind drying things out, even though there's that light rain falling. But you want to get this guy. You don't want to load up the bases and then have a dangerous hitter like Abreu.
That's the scary part of it. And then you get in that fastball situation, it can really get crazy.
There goes Gwynn. And they're not going to throw. It's ball 3. Tony Gwynn's 8th stolen base of the season. Good speed, outstanding speed really on the bases. Full count. Well, since the last time we had seen the Dodgers, Herrera, Castellanos, and we saw a little bit of Scott Van Slyke, but
a little bit, not much. You're right. A lot of young kids up on this team, Jack.
Payoff pitch. And that's going to be a 2-run single for Elian Herrera. 3-1 Los Angeles. Nicasio tried to get to that ball, but right through his legs.
Yeah, hit pretty hard too. This fastball that's down, Nicasio falls off first base side, so it's kind of the splits. Went right between, tried to get his glove on it, didn't happen. Knocked him to the knees, and then with that advancement of Gwynn, it made it relatively easy for him and the Dodgers to take the lead.
And he might have twisted something. Well, he is mad. And they're trying to calm down the emotion, but I don't know if he twisted a knee or something, George.
It looks funny, doesn't it? Or maybe
Knee or ankle.
And the important, anytime you start dealing with the leg issue, you concern yourself a little bit with this. Yep. And he's walking it off either to make sure it gets to feeling better, or Jim Tracy said, you know what, we're done. Oh, man. Don't need to see something like this.
Juan Nicasio is going to have to leave the ball game after injuring his left leg. He's walking a lot better now, but again, you do not want to fool around with the legs of a pitcher.
Well, more times than not, Jack, you start to alter your delivery, and then that's when the arm gets hurt. He's going down that a little slow down those steps, so he ain't going down that as much as he was aggressively as before.
See if we can see what happened at the finish. Yep, right there.
You know, that may be more knee, because that looked like it turned in, not out. It could be the inner part of that knee.
So Josh Renicky is going to have to come into the ball game, and that certainly changes things here. Rockies are down 2 in the second. We'll be back to Coors Field in a moment. Chad Fairchild after he took a foul ball off the bat of Carlos Gonzalez, and now the Rockies are without Juan Nicasio as Josh Renicky will come on and pitch. You see where he ranks among the relievers, right at the top in terms of innings pitched. George, he's done a wonderful job.
Not scared to take the baseball in any situation, and he has been used in any situation. He has had to come out and pitch in a lot of different early in games, late in games when Bilal needed a day off, and he's done a great job of doing just that. And I think, last night he got the night off because Ottavino was good, Bilal was good, Rogers ended up pitching the 9th inning, was good. So now it'll be up to him to try to creep you through this thing and get you out of this inning, and how far he has to go. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, he gets as much time as necessary to warm up, so we're going to step away for a moment. When we come back, Dodgers leading 3-1 here in the second. Again tomorrow. Stick around for Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy. Every week, look for the keyword during the show and text it to 720-720 for a chance to receive prizes. You'll hear from the skipper and win a pair of tickets by watching Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy this Sunday on Root Sports. If you'd like the official rules, just visit RockyMountain.rootsports.com.
And a lot going on through Bob Apodaca's mind right now. Jim Tracy trying to figure out, with Nicasio, you hope it's just a mild strain of whatever. Put the ice on it. Now you got to patchwork this bullpen once again. Rex Brothers threw a couple of nights ago. I'm sure he's got a couple of innings if you had to go that route with Rex. Reynolds, who's prepared to pitch today. Probably like to stay away from Ottavino. He went a little deeper in the game last night.
Inning and 2/3, you're right. So Renicky inherits Herrera at first base. Bobby Abreu walked his first time up.
The bullpen entering this homestand, 1.93 earned run average, 15 in the third innings. 4 earned runs, 16 walks, and just 4 strikeouts. The bullpen's been good. They've been able to throw strikes. Doug said I said 16 walks and 4 strikeouts.
You did.
So 16 strikeouts and 4 walks. How's that?
I wanted to give
it's
you.
It's a day game.
I wanted to give you space to.
I got you.
Yeah.
You did good. That's even better.
Yep. LeMahieu will take care of Abreu from second base. Renicky with a couple of pitches ends the top of the second. Rockies down 2 here at rainy Coors Field. Hyundai dealers step up to the plate, get more miles per gallon with the hottest car line in America. Hyundai. One more on this homestand with the Dodgers tomorrow, and then it's a short trip, a 3-gamer to Arizona. We'll be with you Monday and Tuesday evenings starting at 7 to tangle with the D-backs, play in Phoenix on Wednesday, and we'll come right back to Coors Field for 6 more games. Well, Chris Nelson will start the Rockies second against Aaron Harang. Harang, who gave up a run on a double and a triple, the RBI double by Michael Kadire, scoring Dexter Fowler. He had to sit for a while with the long top of the second and the injury replacement. And he was not as crisp as he would like in that first inning, and starts off 2-0 here to Nelly. Aaron Harang had just a phenomenal season last year with the Padres. Went 14-7. 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, and I still think a lot of times for Harang, those years in Cincinnati, 11 games, won, 211 innings. 16 games won, 235 innings. The next year, 16, 231 innings. Leading the league in innings pitched. Caught up with him there for a little while in Cincinnati, and last year put the wheels back in motion. Was very good in those 28 starts. Jack mentioned 14-7.
Southern California guy from the San Diego area, but went up the highway and signed with the Dodgers. Leadoff walk for the Rockies. One of the things in this homestand, not only have they been scoring a lot of runs, it seems like every time the opposition scored, they'd answer right back. Will Nieves, 3 for 9 so far. 5 in a row, averaging better than 10.5 runs a game. When you have a team batting average over 370 for 5 games, that's a lot of offense. And the rain is still falling, but just judging by the fans in the stands, it looks like it's harder than it actually feels. Of course, I say that from the dry press box.
Pretty nice in here.
Yeah. 2 strikes that count on Nieves.
So Sam, how's the rest of the camera crew doing out there while you're in here in the nice comforts of the booth and everything? Feel pretty good about it? They feel great. Yeah. Do you feel great?
Yeah, the boys are all waving to you, Sam. Set up away again. Missed with the breaking ball.
You got to earn this reputation setting up here, right, Sam? Huh? Yeah, I mean, you've earned this to be outside. After 41 years sought behind camera, you deserve to be up here. You've lost your hair.
That's because he's been in the booth with you.
Yeah, well, 16 years of it, you expect something like that to start happening.
Came back with that high slider and got Nieves to chase it. For Harang, his 2nd strikeout.
When you're down in the zone, a lot of times you can elevate, even if it is a hanger at 82. You elevate, it looks so good that guys just can't lay off of it, but also very difficult to get on top and drive the baseball.
You don't think of Aaron Harang necessarily as a strikeout pitcher, but he came in with 50 punch outs and just under 59 innings. And of course, he set a Dodgers record when he struck out 9 consecutive Padres.
Those years he went 200 innings back to back, he struck out over 200 also.
But he'd never come up in the conversation about that.
No, you never would hear or think that he'd be one of those guys. You know, in years past, you talked a lot about Lincecum striking out 200. Roy Halladay striking out 200.
Nelson led off the inning with a walk. DJ LeMahieu goes after that high pitch.
And don't forget about suites and party facilities. Provide a great atmosphere to entertain VIP clients and celebrate a special event with friends and family. Doesn't be a VIP client. Just bring a bunch of friends out. Hang out at the ballpark and get one of these suites. You'll have a blast.
LeMahieu with a couple of RBIs in his short time with the club. He's down now, a ball and 2 strikes. Family bounced around in terms of where they lived growing up. He spent his high school years in the state of Michigan, did DJ. Very strong athletic program, very good academic school as well in the suburbs of Detroit, Brother Rice High School. And from there to LSU, to the Cubs, and now to the Rockies. Rain has picked up a little bit.
Tell you what, he doesn't swing particularly a powerful bat, but he swings one that he just, when he hits it, he usually lands where there's not a whole lot of people playing. It's a lot of base hits.
Outfield shaded the opposite way for LeMahieu, especially Gwynn in center. Well, Harang keeps teasing these Rockies hitters with those high pitches. Look at the locations, and that last one out of the zone, but with 2 strikes, LeMahieu went after it. No report yet. We'll wait to hear on Juan Nicasio. Had to leave the game. Swing and a miss on a slider. Back-to-back strikeouts and 3 on the afternoon for Harang, and he'll get Josh Renicky and try and wipe out that leadoff walk without too much trouble. The skies are brightening out to the west.
So what's that mean?
Well, usually the storms move in an easterly direction.
So you think we're getting ready to get cleared up?
So we're hopeful of that.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Renicky 0 for 3 as a hitter. His dad Gary was a pretty good stick in his day. Working with his brother Ron with the Brewers now. Easy chance for Harang. Leadoff walk does no damage. And the Dodgers head to the dugout leading by a pair after 2 innings at Coors Field. If they are, they should text Cheyenne for their chance to win Zach Brown Band tickets. You can also be entered to win tickets to additional concerts during Cheyenne Frontier Days, championship bull riding, baseball games. There's going to be a VIP grand prize drawing as well. Message and data rates may apply. Visit RockyMountain.rootsports.com for official rules. The Rockies will have a cowboy look, or at least a cowboy trip, if you will, heading to Texas later in the month.
Yeah, coming up, and then should be a lot of fun to see the guys go out in little cowboy hats. I know we got a few guys from Texas on the ball club, and some guys that wear a lot of the Western wear. Matt Belisle, Rex Brothers.
The home plate umpire Chad Fairchild and the crew chief Tom Hallion went out around the mound at the start of this inning when Josh Renicky went out there to warm up to check on the condition, make sure the footing is still good. Mark Razum and his grounds crew standing by if they needed to spread something fresh out there to dry things up. Andre Ethier RBI single his first time up. Chad Fairchild nearly had to leave this game after taking a foul ball off his left forearm.
Pretty puffy there, isn't it?
Yep.
I know they got a little padding on there, probably some ice or something to try to cool that thing down and keep the swelling out, but probably put a pad in there so it doesn't get hit again.
Yeah, and then you tighten it up to try and keep the area from swelling, no doubt. The RBI in the first inning pulled Ethier into a tie for the league lead with Carlos.
If you're wondering how long Jim Tracy could probably go with Renicky, he's gone 3 innings. That's been the season high so far. May 7th against San Diego at San Diego. That's something you'd like to do, though.
Used Carlos Torres in that role behind Outman last night. Got him. Oh, nice pitch. And Andre Ethier, like a Michael Kadire, doesn't like the daytime very much, and he goes down on strikes.
Good hard slider down in the strike zone. See, I like that. Really on top of that hard slider. Put it in a perfect positioning.
I like the rain in the Mike Shaw Subaru slow-mo.
Slow-mo drops?
Yeah, super slow-mo drops. Kennedy grounded out to first. This is hit pretty well. Cargo is going to have room, however, for the second out. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Well, the other thing that could help Josh Renicky, George, is just keep doing this. He has gotten 3 outs on 7 pitches.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You can work pretty deep into games doing that, huh? 7 pitch innings. Of course, with the Rockies trailing 3-1, I'm sure that Jim Tracy will look next time he comes up to using a pinch hitter, depending on the situation and his pitch count.
Loney a strikeout victim against Nicasio. There's strike one there. A lot of fans have moved under the cover of the overhang as the light rain continues to fall. The wind has died down. Up the middle and off Josh Renicky. Colvin will keep it to a single, and let's hope Renicky's okay.
Pretty tough guy walking around. He just gave thumbs up back to the dugout. I'm fine. Now right above the ankle bone, it appeared Jack got him maybe up on the high shin, but it sure was hit hard because that thing ricocheted off of his leg all the way to right field.
5th hit of the afternoon for the Dodgers.
.321, 5 and 23. A.J. Ellis, we talked a lot about this in his first at bat, how well he was going.
He's gone 8 for 17 against the Rockies, and a third of his RBIs, 7 of the 23. Strike 2.
Nicasio, the update that came from downstairs, a strained left knee. I'm sure the doctors will be there immediately to check all of this. Ice it down, check the swelling, all the things they do here, the MRIs, and make sure it's okay.
But in all likelihood, that means he's going to be down for a while. Chris Nelson will go the short way to get Loney at second. And A.J. Ellis doesn't get him this time. It remains 3-1 Dodgers in the third. Dexter Fowler, who scored the Rockies' run after leading off the game with a triple, extending Dexter's hitting streak to 7. And look what he has done on this homestand. 13 for 22, and not just the 2 homers. He's had a bunch of extra base hits. Batting average as he comes to home plate is .299. George, when he came to the plate for the first time Monday, his batting average was .237.
Well, obviously all the base hits, the walk-off, everything involved with it has been nothing but good for Dexter. And so, Dexter, don't hit your hand with that. Would that be your luck?
Yeah.
Right? Right. Can't get that off of there.
And if you're just joining us, Juan Nicasio sprained his left knee trying to field the ball back up the middle last inning when the Dodgers got a 2-run single on the play from Elian Herrera. That's the difference in the ball game right now. Fowler with a bunt, and it's a dandy. And Ellis's play was just as good, if not better.
You know what? You watch veteran guys, and this is why they don't make mistakes. A.J. Ellis, Ramon Hernandez, Will Nieves, and the Marlene's getting there. See how calm I mean, he went out and got after the baseball, but everything he did was fundamentally sound. Shed the mask, clear your feet around the baseball, and then make a very good throw. Don't throw a sidearm throw, get behind it and drive it. And he did just that.
Well, and if anything, just enough moisture on the infield grass perhaps to slow that ball up, and one less step needed to be taken by Ellis, but a very nice play. Time for today's CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Fast speed at a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. 93 the ceiling for these two guys.
Nicasio hit 95. I glanced on the board a couple of times before his exit.
Scudero lined out to a leaping James Loney at first base. A liner to a leaping Loney. Say that 3 times.
Liner leaping Loney. I don't think I can.
At least not without getting
right
the
now.
FCC involved,
Yeah,
right?
That's right. Exactly. Right. The poncho sales were good today, Jack.
Yeah.
Glad he brought the glove with him.
Yeah, always bring the leather if you're sitting down there.
Yeah, all those guys behind him are real excited he brought the leather.
And looking for one thing, Scudero got another, and Harang's got his 4th strikeout. First of the called variety.
Well, the first 20,000, June 9th, are going to receive a We Want Tacos t-shirt brought to you by Taco Bell. So get your tickets now for that when the Angels are in town. I got to get some of those We Want Taco shirts. There have been a lot of tacos passed out the last 5 days, tell you that.
Yeah, this homestand's been a taco heaven. Guy at the plate's been responsible for a lot of that. Carlos popped up to short his first at bat. Rain has really lightened here. The skies are doing the same. Little cue shot. And it just caught enough of the cut of the grass to push it foul. Otherwise, it's a base hit.
You know, I might have grabbed it, just give him a single. You know, I know it says no, let it roll, let it go foul. But if you've read the newspaper and see how hot this guy is, I might have picked it up right there and just let him have the single.
The edge of the grass, and that's what pushed it foul. 1-1 on Cargo. 15 hits on this 6-game hitting streak that he's got going. Fowler extended his to 7 with his first inning triple. 1-2. Almost as if that long top of the second has actually worked to Aaron Harang's benefit. He looks better than he did in the first inning. Count stays at 1-2 on Gonzalez. Rockies 3 of 4 over the Dodgers here. 2-2. Dodgers won the first 3 games in Los Angeles, so they've got the 1-game edge overall after tomorrow's game, halfway through the season series. 18 against Western Division foes. Herrera won't get there.
Tell you what, there's got to be a lot of cut or late life on his fastball. We've seen a lot of balls full swings, and the ball looks like it's hit with balsa wood. I mean, it's just not going anywhere. It's getting off the sweet part of the bat, that's for sure.
You know, George talked about it. Harang's allowed 6 home runs. Some of that's Dodger Stadium, but 6 home runs in more than 60 innings.
Keeps the ball in the park.
Well, that one low bridged him. And Cargo's hitting streak is 7. A 2-out base runner for the Rockies.
Trying to get that pitch down and in, though. See, that was that cutter, but it ended up right out in the middle of the plate. It didn't get down on Gonzalez at all. A.J. wanted that ball down and in under the hands of Gonzalez. He left it out over the plate. Well, all Michael Kadyr's done in the last 5 ball games is hit .615, 2 home runs, scored 8, driven in 9. Not bad.
RBI double in the first inning. Ball 1. The double, his first hit in 4 at bats against Harang. An unearned run for the Dodgers in the first inning. And a 2-out 2-run single by Elian Herrera that literally knocked Juan Nicasio out of the game with a knee injury. Rockies got their run in the bottom of the first, a leadoff triple by Dexter Fowler and a 2-out double by this man. He has been as advertised. 2-0. The double was oh so close to a long ball.
I don't think if the wind wouldn't have been howling across there to knock that ball down, I think it would have been a home run. Because the wind ricocheted off the wall and got past 2 outfield.
Two balls and a strike now on Michael. Michael telling me the other day he and his wife Claudia are so happy that they've got their son in a preschool now so he can make some friends here in the Denver area. Off the end of the bat. So Ethier will have room in the corner. We will head to the 4th. Dodgers lead by 2 here at Coors Field.
And we head to the 4th. Well, speaking of the Dodgers, there's some very familiar names in their lineup, but has nothing to do with those players and more to do with their fathers. There's, of course, Tony Gwynn, Scott Van Slyke, Dee Gordon, and Ivan De Jesus. Now, Tony Gwynn said that because of their fathers, these 4 have created a bond.
You don't get an opportunity to play with as many, sons of former ball players as we've gotten to play with. So it's been pretty cool. We share a lot of common interests, just from a baseball standpoint, growing up. So it's even though there's some age difference there, I think for the most part, we have a lot in common.
And the biggest thing they have in common, Gwen told me, was sharing stories about when they were kids, growing up in a clubhouse with their fathers. They were all given the same rule, and that was be quiet, mind your business, and don't bother the other players in the clubhouse.
Speaking of one of those sons, Dee Gordon with a broken back grounder to DJ LeMahieu for the first out. What was interesting, George, last night, the infield for the Dodgers, all 4 of those infielders, sons of big leaguers, Van Slyke, Hairston, Gordon, and De Jesus. And as far as folks know, that's never happened before.
No, I would think so. I would think that was, and it was Gwynn playing up the middle too. All those guys out there, the infield and the mix, all on the field. It's kind of neat. It's got to be rewarding, not only for those guys, but for obviously the families of these guys that make it to the big leagues. And Mom's saying, you know what? I sat and watched your dad play for 20 years. I guess I got 20 more to go. I hope I have that many anyway.
Well, then you had Tony Gwynn in the outfield, and Andre Ethier's dad played in the minor leagues, so he was a pro player, and Eric Young Jr., of course, on the Rockies side. Danny Montgomery, the Rockies assistant director of scouting, telling me yesterday that that's one of the things they look at.
Bloodlines.
Bloodlines.
Yep. Because they've been around it. Kids have been around the ballpark. They've been can see how things get operated, how they get along with other people, what it takes to be a team inside of a locker room.
2 strikes on Harang, who had a nice sacrifice bunt that helped the Dodgers score the 2 runs in the second inning. Harang held up, said Alfonso Marquez down at first base. Not that time. And Josh Renicky continues to pitch well. That's his second strikeout, as he has worked 2 innings now and done it with a minimum of pitches, just 17.
Amazing, isn't it? When you throw strikes, all the good things that can happen from that.
Will you make it to home safe? Don't get called out with a seatbelt ticket. CDOT reminds you it's click it or ticket time, so double your chance of surviving a crash and avoid a $65 fine. Be sure to share your seatbelt survival story with CDOT on Facebook at Colorado DOT. Ball 1 to Tony Gwynn, who has reached twice and scored twice. Two and 0. Those are just the 3rd pitches out of 20 out of the strike zone for Josh Renicky.
Pretty amazing when you start to hear that, isn't it? You know, I don't know why, but I get up in the mornings, I grab the Denver Post, I walk outside, or USA Today, and I want to see pitch counts. I want to see, you know, sometimes it surprises me. It takes 6-8 pitchers to get 27 outs in a game.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, and the starter got the win and went 6.
And after just 1 out of the strike zone, and we're bragging on him, he throws 4 in a row to Gwynn, and Tony's on for the 3rd time. He hasn't had a hit yet, but an error, a fielder's choice, and now a walk.
Follow the Rockies on your phone with MLB.com. At Bat 12 app featuring pitch tracking and highlights and a whole lot more.
Here's the guy who's the difference in the ball game right now. Elian Herrera on a 3-2 pitch, singled up the middle through the legs of Juan Nicasio. Nicasio trying to make the play on the ball, injured his left knee, had to leave. Renicky came on, got the final out of the second inning. He's allowed a single to Loney, and now the 2-odd walk to the man at first base, Tony Gwynn. Stole a base last time on the bases. Ball 1. If there is any rain falling, it is ever so slight now to the point. I think it's just about disappeared. 1 ball and 1 strike on Herrera. A little more of a bright look out to the horizon on the west. See the mountains again. That's always a positive.
Absolutely.
Gonzalez on the run, and that ball hit right on the line. Throw to third is offline, and down to second goes Herrera. Elian Herrera couldn't have gone out there and set the ball down any better.
I was thinking the same exact thing. I mean, a flare off the end of the bat. Gwynn was going to be off with it. And sure enough, this ball's just and how did it stay fair with a left-handed bat? You'd think that ball's going to curve a little bit out into the foul territory. And it didn't move much at all. Gonzalez, long run. He's going to end up catching this on a couple of hops, and he's going to fire that thing on the run to third base, a little bit offline, and they've got second and third. Bob Apodaca's out to talk to Abreu. I mean, it's a tough part of the lineup for the Dodgers. The 2 big boppers, Abreu and then Ethier.
Well, the only chink in the armor all year for Josh Renicky has been issuing bases on balls, and he had been so sharp, but the 4-pitch walk to Tony Gwynn has opened the door for the Dodgers. They got 2 runs with 2 outs in the second inning. They've got second and third and 2 outs here for Abreu. He grounded out to LeMahieu as the first man that Renicky faced back in the second inning. Dodgers have out hit the Rockies 6-3. Got some clutch hits, to say the least. 1 ball and 1 strike as that one found the zone at 91.
Good running fastball down and away. Because with Abreu, I think you just want to avoid trying to take the ball to that inner half of the plate with him. Earlier in the stage of his career, he can take the ball to any part of the ballpark at any point in time. But right now, this kind of seems the hot zone to me. So you get something going here, it's really going to help you. Worked under that fastball at 91.
Abreu sort of made his bones, if you will, with the Phillies, and then some good years with the Yankees and then the Angels, and actually began in the Houston organization.
It's not about money for Bobby Abreu now. It's about rings and opportunities and trying to win.
He's got the count the way he likes it. 3 balls and a strike. All this happening with 2 outs and nobody on. And somebody with a nice backhand grab in the upper deck for a souvenir. I don't think that's where Nieves wanted the pitch.
Got away with one?
Well, you'd know it better than me. You're the guy out on the bump when the catcher comes out and talks to you.
They come running out there and going, dude, that's not where we want to go. Really? I made a mistake. Let's go another way right now. What do you want to do? A lot of times, big situations, you're already down by 2. You don't want to be down by 4. So you go out and say, what pitch do you want to go with? It's a 3-2 count. Ethier's in the on deck circle. This is our out pitch. We got to make it here. And so let's go with it. Now, if it's the back foot slider, go with the back foot slider.
Fastball that just ran off the plate. Chad Fairchild said it was outside. It was. Abreu, who's drawn more than 1,000 walks in his career, didn't have any problem letting it go, and the bases are loaded.
A lot like the reputation Jason Giambi has as far as knowledge of the strike zone.
Maybe the last guy Josh Renicky wants at the plate in this situation. Ethier, an RBI single in the first inning, struck out against Renicky in the third. Gets the slider in there for strike 1.
0 for 3 in his career now. Ethier's hit at a 429 clip with the runners with the bases loaded.
Saw that graphic, a couple of slams in his career.
The Dodgers 308 as a team.
1 ball and 1 strike. Renicky, can he wriggle out of this jam? Well, he gets ahead of Ethier. Gwynn, Herrera, Abreu. Even with Abreu being in his late 30s, he still runs decently. So
knowledge of the bases.
Yeah.
Cutting the bags shorter, shorten the distance between bags. I mean, There's ways to be a great base runner, and they don't necessarily have to be as quick as you used to be.
One-two pitch. Threw him a curveball, but it didn't do much.
Chased that one pitch. That's how he struck him out in the previous at bat when he first entered the ball game. Josh Renicky succeeds typically in these spots because of a slow heartbeat. You get very excited.
Wow. Full count. I don't know where that one missed, but Chad Fairchild didn't give him the call.
Well, the fourth strike zone says it was a strike in a lower half outside corner. Whatever reason, they locked up, didn't make the call.
From 1-2 to 3-2. And that'll force in a run.
Well, Will Nieves isn't very happy either.
Dodgers make it 4-1. He thought they had strike three, didn't get the call. And the third walk of the inning, all with 2 outs. And Matt Reynolds looks like he's going to be the guy to start to warm up.
Guarantee you, Will Nieves thought he had strike three to go with it. You can show your displeasure without talking. You can come back, shake the head, squat down, and sit.
Kennedy is grounded to first and flied to left. He called that one a strike. Up a little bit more than that ball 3 pitch that didn't go the Rockies' way and has cost them for the moment a run. Hoping that's all it'll be. Colvin will get it. And it is just 1. Middle of 4. The Dodgers with a 3-run advantage here in Denver. Of the 4th inning, time for our AT&T trivia question. Mets got their first ever no-hitter last night after 8,020 games. Fernando Valenzuela there in the middle of the picture. He has a no-no in his wonderful career, who's now the only remaining team without a no-hit. We'll let you know that in a moment. If you don't know it already, if you had been paying attention to the Cowboy during the pregame show, you'd know it. But then the Cowboy knows everything.
He knows a lot, I can tell you that. Just ride home with him from the games every now and then. He's got a lot of answers to a lot of things.
Two
Not
balls
just
and no
baseball.
strikes. Yeah.
Not just baseball either.
Strikeout victim first time up against Terang. That's that swing you were talking about, George. It looks like Colvin's on that pitch, and by the time contact's made, it's down around the trademark.
Yeah, it just jumps a little bit. I mean, it doesn't take much. 2-inch jump is about all it needs. As you start that swing and you think you got solid contact, and it gets down on the wrist or off the end of the bat. Plus, he has elevated a lot of fastballs today, so I think that's probably causing a lot of weaker swings on the ball also.
Rockies got their run in the first inning. Harang has allowed a base runner, but only one in each of the next 2 frames. And again, got Colvin to chase a fastball that might have been out of the strike zone. Second time Tyler's done that. Stay connected this season by following Root Sports on Facebook and Twitter. We want to hear from you. Our question is, how many home runs will Cargo hit in June? There you see the ways to stay connected on Facebook or Twitter. Chris Nelson walked his first time up. Aaron Harang has quietly struck out 5 this afternoon already in 3 1/3. Two quick strikes on Nelly, who walked on 5 pitches his first time up. Aaron Harang is a big man.
Yes, he is.
Leaping grab at second base by Adam Kennedy for the second out.
I think that's, his stuff's never been like 98 because he's 6'7", 250. But durability is the big thing with Aaron Harang. I mean, he is a durable pitcher that eats up an awful lot of innings. Consistently makes above 27, 28 starts a year.
Got that big backside, the thick upper legs, get that power to drive to the plate.
Cutter. I mean, he's really getting on top of that thing and just spinning it across, and it's, the flash slider cutter. But what it is, it's about a 6-8 inch move when he lessens the velocity. A much bigger move, or slower move, I should say, when he adds velocity to it.
With a chance for his first 1-2-3 inning, Herrera makes the play at third, and the Rockies go quietly. Dodgers with a 4-1 advantage here in Denver. At Coors Field, and let's answer our AT&T trivia question. The only team left now in the majors without having a no-hitter thrown by one of their pitchers, it's the San Diego Padres. Last night, Johan Santana in game number 8020 gets the first Mets no-no, but it came at a price. The Mets announcing today that somewhere in this celebration, former Rocky reliever Ramon Ramirez got hurt.
Oh, no. Stepped on or? That's
Just said
good.
he was hurt running towards the pile. Yeah, he's there at the back end. I can see him. Look, must have pulled something.
Yeah, that was not good. Well, Matt Reynolds comes on right now, making his 22nd appearance. 3-0, 398 earned run average. Came into the ball game the other day. Outstanding. Really good command of the big hammer. And Renicky, I should say, we're 2 1/3 innings in this ball game. He walked 3, gave up a run.
Loney, who's got a hit already, sends this into the corner. Cargo. I hope he's okay.
Off the end of the glove. I think he's starting to realize where everything is down there and slid to prevent any kind of hard contact into that wall.
A scary strike for the Rockies. Looks to be okay. Mad that he didn't make the grab. Loney's base hit went to the right side, his first time up, or excuse me, second time up. Struck out his first time up. 2 balls and a strike. If you're just joining us, Juan Nicasio got hurt trying to field a base hit off the bat of Elian Herrera and had to leave the game in the second inning. Here's what it looked like.
Yeah, just now watch the left knee when the ball's hit. See how the foot rolled in? That's the strain you're talking about. He got up and he felt a little bit of tenderness in that left knee, and so that's why they're going to obviously take all the caution in the world. He's doing pretty good walking on flat ground, but you saw a pretty steady lift there. Ball hit into the corner. Jack's going to ricochet out.
James Loney hitting $107 on the road till he gets to Coors Field, and he's 2 for 3 today. And what has hurt the Rockies in this ball game, as you watch this double that hit right on the line, much like the Herrera double last inning. Leadoff man reached on an error in the first inning. Single to lead off the second. They got the leadoff man in the third and fourth innings, but now another leadoff man aboard. Going from the stretch, one batter into an inning, chances of the opposition making it tough on you increase exponentially. You like that word?
That's big. That's huge. That was a lot of word. That was Cornell, or was that St. Ignatius?
Either one.
All the above.
One strike on A.J. Ellis, who has a single and hit into a fielder's choice his last time up.
Pretty good split. 83 miles an hour. The bottom just fell out of that thing. A lot of different people will ask you, what is that Reynolds throws in that 82 to 85 mile an hour range, because he doesn't use it very often. He used it well there against A.J. Ellis to sink it down and away from it.
And you go inside, but a little too far apparently with the fastball. You know, here's that scenario where Ellis has been so good this year for the Dodgers. hitting well over 300. He's with the man in scoring position. He's got Loney out there at second. These are fellow alums. Ellis and Reynolds, both out of Austin Peay. Two balls, two strikes. Join in the conversation with Toyota Talk. Text Toyota to 720-720. Share your insights or questions on today's game and learn how to win a $500 gas card. Got him. Held on to it, and Ellis can't believe it, but they get him in a clutch situation for out number one.
Well, the bragging rights at the alumni game will go to Reynolds. Very good pitch and hung on to by Nieves. It appears to be that split again. I'm looking at a rotation on the baseball, but normally he works that down and away from. Ellis looking back saying, I didn't see that before.
D. Gordon singled and scored in the two-run second. Dodgers a run in the first, two in the second, one in the fourth. The Rockies got their run in the first. And D. Gordon went too far. This is Tom Hallion, strike one. Here's that previous pitch.
Yeah, you're seeing that those hands split outside on the baseball. But now what happens is you pull with your middle finger. And when you do, you'll get a rotation to the right. When you pull even or with the index, that's when you get that dive down and away. It takes special finger pressure and to recognize what it is to get the baseball to do that and move it within both sides of the strike zone. Good guy to have at the plate right now if you're the Rockies trying to get out of this inning without any more score or damage going on. D. Gordon 6 for 38 this year, 158 average with runners in scoring position. 1-2 count now, and him put the ball away from him. Just don't put anything to the inner half of the plate.
8 for 51 against left-handed pitching as well. Got him.
Snap slider. Wow. 84 miles an hour. Well, they call it a split finger on the boards here, but it had slider action. We'll look again. Coming out of the hand. And it coming out of the hand's a split finger. You see it on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. And the rotation on this thing, you don't see this often. That was a feeble swing on a great pitch.
Almost looks like the ball is spinning on an axis rather than tumbling.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever it is doing, it's doing a really good job of it. And then this after the leadoff double, going to work out of this thing and make it look pretty easy.
Nice work by Matt Reynolds. Rockies still down 3 halfway through this one. Ultimate Sports is brought to you by Ford Explorer. Go. Do your exploring. Ford Explorer. Go further. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank. Member FDIC. After a little windstorm at the start of the game and some steady drizzle for a while, things improving at the ballpark here at Coors Field, everywhere but on the scoreboard, where the Rockies trail it 4-1. It'll be DJ LeMahieu, Matt Reynolds, and then back to the top of the order, Dexter Fowler against Aaron Harang here in the 5th. LeMahieu, one of 5 strikeouts for Harang, and DJ will get a base hit here.
I don't know if you remember his previous at bat, Jack. They just worked him away. This kid's a smart hitter and a smart thinker at the plate. Look at first pitch fastball away. You sit in the dugout. You pay attention to what he had done to Nieves, what he had done to Chris Nelson. Fastballs away, a little cut on the baseball. So you look for it and you take advantage of that and just go to the opposite field. Don't try to do too much with it. A nice job of it for DJ.
Gives the Rockies a chance to use Matt Reynolds in a sacrifice situation. Matt has batted once previously this year, and that was a strikeout. Herrera on the grass already at third. I said LeMahieu runs pretty well. If Reynolds can get down a decent bunt, get that chance to move LeMahieu into scoring position. On the season, the Rockies, good bunt by Reynolds, and took a little while for some of the Dodgers to head back over to third, but we're just getting ready to say the Rockies not as sharp this year in sacrifice bunts so far, but well done that time by Matt Reynolds.
Absolutely, he was. Put it right out in front of the plate, far enough away. I mean, he does work on his game, and is never know when this situation might arise that he gets into extra innings. So that's why he does just what he did. Good job.
I mentioned the bunting because that was just the 18th successful sacrifice bunt of the season for the Rockies. The Dodgers have 34.
Yeah, it tells you. Well, when you win baseball games too, you're not pinch hitting a lot either.
Well, that is true.
You know, fortunately, Rockies hadn't won some games early in the season, so you're pinch hitting, trying to score big runs, not trying to get back into the game in a small way.
You know, good that Harang bluffed that throw because there would have been nobody there to catch it. Dee Gordon was cut off from the view of the Dodgers pitcher by DJ LeMahieu. Dexter thrown out on a good play by the catcher Ellis, trying to bunt last time up after tripling and scoring the Rockies run in the first.
Not sure if you mentioned earlier, I know you talked about Santana's no-hitter, but the Cardinals now have been shut out 16 innings in New York. They're losing 3-0 today through 7. Pretty potent lineup to be getting shut out that many innings.
1-1 on Dexter. They handled the loss of Lance Berkman initially pretty well, but maybe now it's starting to catch up to him.
No tailspin. Adams, a young kid that was Texas League Player of the Year a year ago, played at Springfield in Double-A. I think he had 30+ home runs, drove in over 100, hit .335, was brought up from Triple-A. Playing an awful lot of first base for Mike Matheny. Matt Holliday has started to swing the bat a little bit better. His average hovering around 280 now, 285. But it was not that high early in the season. He had struggled, but Beltran has swung the bat pretty consistent the entire year. Alan Craig just came off the disabled list today.
And World Series hero David Freese has had his moments. Dex did a nice job of avoiding being plunked by a 91-mile-an-hour fastball.
Josh Tolley picked a pretty good day to come off the DL yesterday. The catcher of the Mets, huh? Now this ball almost got the arm sleeve of Dexter Fowler.
Full count on the Rockies leadoff hitter, who's done a very nice job. You're talking about Tony Gwynn Jr. in the clutch in the leadoff spot for the Dodgers. Dex well over 300 with runners in scoring position. He's got LeMahieu out there at second. Rockies trying to get back into this one. There was another one. I want to say, George, that's at least a dozen times where from our vantage point up here, it looks like a guy's on a pitch and then it just doesn't have the right sound and doesn't do much.
I just think elevation and cut. It's been a big part of what he's done. I know he's got Tyler Colton twice elevated strike zone.
And this time he's the one who doesn't get the call on the changeup, and Dexter draws a walk. 2 on and 1 out in the Rockies' fifth.
3-run lead. The guy he's thinking about is in the on-deck circle. He does not want to see Carlos Gonzalez. He would like to induce the double play here with Scudero up. Scudero in his first at bat lined out at first base, struck out in the third.
Good speed on the bases for the Rockies. This will be pitch 75 for Harang. Ball 1. A.J. Ellis probably as much here to maybe just get him to exhale, George.
Yeah, just take a little breather. Let's slow it back up. Let's get us back in a position here, what we're trying to accomplish. Let's go with some strikes. Let's get a double play ball. All needs to be positive. This year, the Rockies Wives will host a food drive, charity basket auction, and the charity grab bag event. Go to the Rockies community webpage for details. Always, always a great event with the Rockies Wives raising money for charity.
Fair ball, no, just foul. Oh my, the Dodgers have had 2 hit the chalk. That just missed.
That was close. That was really close. Glenn Allen held, walked up towards the line and looked down, but then walked away. Boy, it was just foul, wasn't it?
Alfonso Marquez.
Right on top of it.
Yep.
You can see that white line not moved a bit.
No more than the width of the baseball foul. 1-1 on Scudero. And Harang, who has walked a pair. As George said, he knows who's in that on-deck circle. Trying to get Scudero on that outside pitch, maybe to roll something over or hit it to second base.
I'll tell you how hot Scudero's been. 3 for 35 with runners in scoring position to start the year. Of late, 3 for his last 8 opportunities.
And now 3 balls and a strike.
See the career numbers, 2 for 12. He's had 3 strikeouts while facing Aaron Harang. The fans like it. It's a beautiful day at the ballpark. Had a little rain earlier, but temperature-wise, it couldn't be any better than what it is right now. A light jacket. Sit and watch the ball game.
Bases are loaded. Back-to-back freebies. Tying runs aboard for Carlos Gonzalez. Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach, talking with Don Mattingly. And Honeycutt will go to the mound. We'll wait and see if we get any activity underway in the Dodger pen. They, of course, have had to use their pen a little bit more of late.
Well, Rick got to talk to him going, all right, guys, this hadn't been a very good situation, but here's what we got. First inning, you went after him, and you got him to hit the little soft fly ball to left field. or at the third base, you cut him in. Next time up, you went fastball early. He got quick, throw the ball right back up the middle. Let's stay away from the big power area, middle half in. If you go in there, let's go with a back foot slider if you work ahead in the count. Gonzalez has only had one at bat this year with the bases loaded. Came through with a base hit. Got 2 RBIs with the base hit. The team for the Rockies has hit .294 with the bases loaded this year.
In 24 games against the Dodgers here at Coors Field, Cargo has gone 39 for 89.
Wow, pretty good, huh? I'd say that's passing grade.
LeMahieu at third, Fowler at second, Scudero at first. Only 1 out. Rockies down 3 here in the 5th. Cargo was swinging out of the hand there, and he knows it.
Good.
Chase ball 1.
Geared for the fastball. He got a really off-speed pitch, thrown for a strike. The 80th pitch at 72 miles an hour out of the hand of Harang. Guerra, the right-hander, up, trying to get it going.
Would they double up soft again here, George?
Well, you know what? I try to stay away from the fastball only for one reason, because that ball seems to be second time they've gotten him. Boy, and I mean what? I'll tell you what, Cargo just shattered that bat at home plate in disgust. He got the attention of home plate umpire Chad Fairchild.
That is the second time with a man in scoring position, in this case the base is loaded, that Harang has gotten Cargo to make that little pop on the left side. And that's a big second out.
Well, another guy you like coming to plate right now is this guy, Michael Kadire. 3 for 5, 9 RBIs, 2 grand slams in this situation.
Assistant trainer came out when Cargo smashed his bat in disgust on the ground. I don't know if he kicked up some dust or a little splinter that might have gotten into the eyes of A.J. Ellis, but he's okay. It'll leave it up to Kadire, who came through in the first inning with an RBI double.
Right there it is, Cargo. You see Fairchild look at him like, you know, what's going on? He jumped back when he saw him swing the bat. And again, that's a little bit of an immature, letting out frustration in front of the eye of the public.
1-1 on Kadire.
For everyone that is frustrated.
He has been so good, Cargo, to have the things that you're going to have in this game. It's tough. And strike 2. Boy, he has put 2 on the outside edge against Kadire. Actually, you saw there all 3 pitches have been out away from Michael.
Well, the pitch he drove out into the left center field gap, and was a pitch right here. It was up, middle half in. They tried to get him to chase that one too. That's one thing they've done a little bit of that today.
Did the home plate umpire get it again?
Yeah, he got nicked. Wasn't a big deal. Up right where the shoulder pads are. He's all right. He had padding there.
Yep.
Whoa.
Wow. Wait,
Time
whoa,
out.
whoa.
Might have been a little bit of shock involved there. How about if he had unloaded that one we just seen Fairchild take off?
Yeah.
He'd have been yelling more than timeout. Guarantee you that. He picked it up. Fairchild's like, hey, somebody get in front of me.
You can see in that replay the time had been granted. Harang was looking at the runner LeMahieu at third. This will be A tag out at second base is Scudero, and the Rockies leave them loaded. After 5, the Dodgers lead it 4-1.
Have the lead as we head to the 6th. Now, we know that the Dodgers had a 5-game losing streak coming into the game today after being swept by Milwaukee and losing to the Rockies yesterday. The Rockies riding a 5-game win streak. They're going to try and come back and make it 6 here. But let's check around the rest of the West and see what's happening in the NL West. How about for San Francisco backing Madison Bumgarner yesterday? He had a shutout going into the 9th after giving up a couple hits. He was pulled. Santiago Casilla, he gave up a 3-run shot, but the Giants hold on to win 4-3. In Arizona and San Diego, they're squaring off. Arizona, they've been snake bitten. They lost a series to San Francisco. Then they lost 7-1 yesterday to San Diego. That's because San Diego scored 6 runs in the 8th inning, including a Jesus Guzman pinch hit 2-run shot. Up next for the Colorado Rockies, we do head to Arizona. So we wouldn't mind if the Padres continued to beat them up. What do you guys think?
I agree. No question. The Rockies started play today just a half game behind the Diamondbacks, who are in 3rd place in the division. Tony Gwynn Jr. has been on base 3 times, reached on an error, reached on a fielder's choice, reached on a walk, and he has scored 3 times. Down in the count here to Matt Reynolds, 1-2. Reynolds coming on last inning after Josh Renicky worked 2 1/3 following the injury to Juan Nicasio, straining his left knee in the top of the 2nd. The race is on. Reynolds will win it against Tony Gwynn as Michael Kadire with a nice feed got him right to the bag. Quick conference with Nieves and Reynolds. And Elian Herrera, he has been a problem. 2-run, 2-out single in the 2nd inning, doubled his last time up. This time it's it to Chris Nelson, who gets it to first in time. 2 down.
Well, they want to know who's faster, EY or Fowler. I'm going to have to go with EY on this one.
In the 50 meters, yes.
Yeah, 50
Anything
meters.
longer, Dexter.
Yeah. EY really quick, accelerating and going quickly. Yeah, we all hoping that. Nicasio was fine too. Renicky did a pretty nice job filling in, other than felt like maybe missed a couple of those.
2 outs for Bobby Abreu, who walked in the 4th inning, and then that walk loaded the bases, and a walk to Andre Ethier plated the Dodgers' 4th run.
This may want to know where I like to sit. This isn't too bad up here, but I don't mind it. I don't mind the Camarena bar either. That was kind of fun up there last night too.
Yeah, watched you guys on and off up there.
Yeah, food was good. I didn't get any of all the other stuff that Doug ate. You ate some nuts. See, you said I didn't eat anything, and then I accused him of eating the nuts. And he said, "Well, I ate a few nuts."
See, there it is.
Kind of like I only had half my hand in a cookie jar.
Get a great view from up there.
You know, it's kind of a unique view. The hard part is telling the distance and flight of the baseball off the bat immediately from up there, particularly going to right field. Kind of hard. You get blocked out down in front of the scoreboard. But other than that, great place to watch the game. Got to visit with the fans all around us at up around the bar area, and then in center field, the rock pile's just right next to you.
Matt Reynolds down 3-1 here to Bobby Abreu with 2 outs. And this is headed right where George was sitting. It'll go into the bullpen. First home run of the year for Bobby Abreu. And the Dodgers lead by 4. 3-1 counts to a veteran hitter. And the Rockies paid for it.
Well, particularly a guy that's been an everyday guy. You know, this is you get a young kid left on left, you don't think much about it. But this guy's a left-handed. He's been doing this a while, left on left, everyday guy. And some pretty pressure situations, Philly, New York, and then with the Angels. And I know things dropped off with the Angels, but he's picked back up again, very productive for what's going on here in this Dodger uniform.
40 homers on the season now for the Dodgers, and you pile that on top of the Rockies not being able to convert in the 5th inning, and that deficit looks large. Andre Ethier, a pair of RBIs on a single in the 1st inning and a bases loaded walk in the 4th, although the Rockies thought they had him struck out on the 2-2 pitch.
And I thought they did too, and the Ford strike zone said they did, but obviously it didn't happen. Yeah, I hope Squirrel didn't get blown away either. He had a little fun last night. He dropped out in the home plate area, though. That was shaky when the Squirrel dropped out.
Yep. I have to agree with that.
Then he shot between Ira's legs and went into the tunnel over there where the tarp is.
He was a good omen last night. We need to get him back.
Yeah, they've had to rally Squirrel a couple other places.
Yeah.
Grab another one.
Two-two pitch. And this has a chance to be extra bases. Colvin with a good effort, but not quite in time. Andre Ethier with his 18th double of the year. That was well played by Tyler Colvin.
Could have played it any better, and a strong throw in by Colvin. I think Ethier understood that too. Whenever the ball's hit like this and it gets out into that right center field area, watch Tyler's going to take the right angle, cut it, spin, and get a lot of momentum on this throw back into second base, and it was right on the money. And Ethier's played enough games here. He understands that. Yeah, that split finger forkball. Forkball's a little slower pitch. Fingers are spread wider on the ball, to answer your question, but a very similar pitch, yes.
You know, 2 left-handed hitters, 2 veteran lefties get a homer and a double off Reynolds. Now another veteran lefty in Adam Kennedy.
Yeah, they talked about Tony Gwynn Jr. would be faster if his pants weren't so baggy.
Doesn't seem to bother him too much.
No.
out, guys. Of course, it is interesting, you know, with the Olympics coming up and the swimmers with all their high-tech swimsuits and the track and field performers trying to be as sleek as possible, and baggy is in baseball.
Baggy's in everywhere. How about the basketball pants? The ones you and I played in, they look like a Speedo now. Well, let's take a look at our little friend, the squirrel. What do you want to name him? Sam? What do you think? Look at Capuano. Come on, let's go. Get out of here. Where did he come from? That's what I want to know. Did he come out of the dugout or something? I mean, he did pop up out of a drain over on the first base side. Where did he come from?
I loved how he came up to Richie Dower and just stood next to him.
Kind of circled around him. Richie didn't move.
Say, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. What's happening?
I'd love to be crawled up his leg.
The same thing.
See Richie take off running. Oh my.
Kennedy keeps slapping the ball the other way. Nieves is going to walk the ball out to Matt Reynolds. Well, this is where the Nicasio injury hurts, because you're forced to have guys like Renicky and Reynolds work longer than you'd want them to.
Back-to-back days, though. Man,
Yep.
Outman yesterday, you had to go to Torres. Torres sent down, brothers up. Ottavino had to work extra yesterday.
Yep, all of those things. And it may cost him a run, boy. Adam Kennedy with a loop that gets in, and then the throw by Colvin is not able to be cut off, and Kennedy will go to second. 6-1 Dodgers.
Well, nobody getting loose down there. Yeah, they're going to have to get the final out somehow. You got all these left-handers running up here in a roll, and they've gotten after Matt Reynolds.
You don't charge an error to Colvin. It's just an advance on the throw. At least to this point, we haven't had an error charged. And the Dodgers, 5 of their 6 runs today have scored with 2 outs.
Well, that's why you win baseball games. That's why they had the best record in baseball coming in here.
Carlos Gonzalez will grab it to end the inning, but the Dodgers scored 2 more. And the Rockies' deficit grows here in the 6th at Coors Field. to save money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. In the 5th inning, Matt Reynolds, a very solid inning. Unfortunately for Matt, he couldn't follow it up in the 6th inning as the Dodgers scored 2 more. And the Rockies are down 5. You know, the bottom of the 5th, top of the 6th, George, as we'll get Aaron Harang's first pitch. In a baseball to football analogy, it's like going in for a go-ahead touchdown and throwing a pick 6. You know, the Rockies had the bases loaded and didn't score, and then the Dodgers score a pair. Tyler Colvin. This will get out to Tony Gwynn in center field, who ends up catching it by his ear.
Well, Rex Brothers recently brought up yesterday, got here this morning actually, will be coming on to pitch. Boy, you talk about special. Jack and I'll get into a little bit of his numbers of what he was doing down at Colorado Springs, but it was good, I can tell you that.
Well, that's what they wanted to do, to go down and get him righted again, and it appears that's the case. Chris Nelson with a sky ball to center field. Speaking of Chris Nelson, time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, and Nelly touched them all for the first time in 2012 last night. Second career pinch homer for Chris. And no doubter to straightaway center field. But Aaron Harang, he's allowed just 4 hits on the day. Well, he's had a fair amount of traffic out there. He has kept the Rockies at bay. Rockies are just 1 for 6 with men in scoring position today. And that one came on the double from Michael Kadire back in the 1st inning. Will Nieves 0 for 2. Two balls and no strikes on the veteran catcher. When George and I were talking earlier about a guy like Nieves, even A.J. Ellis's case, although it was always with the Dodgers organization, this marks the 8th straight year that Will Nieves has been in the big leagues, and it's been with 5 different teams.
Accomplished backup guy, but somebody that's maybe not good enough to play every day, so he doesn't get that opportunity to be there the entire year. So it's times in AAA, back to the big leagues, put on waivers, back again. 284 major league games, a lifetime average 222, 5 home runs, 74 RBIs. AAA this year, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs. He hit 299.
And he goes down on strikes for the 2nd time against Aaron Harang, who has punched out 6. Dodgers lead it 6-1. Brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. Dodgers got an RBI single in the first inning from Andre Ethier. It was an unearned run. Tony Gwynn had reached on an error. The Rockies came back, and Michael Kadire with a near homer off the fence in center field scored Dexter Fowler. But the Dodgers would get a 2-out, 2-run single by Elian Herrera, and on that play, Juan Nicasio hurt his left knee and had to leave the ball game. Dodgers added a run in the fourth, and then in the sixth inning, a home run by Bobby Abreu, and this RBI single by Adam Kennedy. Willeen Rosario coming into the game to catch Rex Brothers.
Double switch, try to buy a little time here maybe. So what it appears to be here, they go straight up. You know, they put Rosario in the 9 hole. So Brothers moves up into the 7th spot in the lineup. 4 appearances with AAA, and they were good, folks. He went down and figured out some things that hopefully will carry over to where he is right now here with the Rockies. Good downward plane, good fastball velocity. Now I will say this in defense of Rex. The plane left out of Salt Lake this morning at 4:30. And when he got to the airport, he said, I was parked in long-term parking. So I went to the east lot because Colorado Springs flies out of here a lot. So he goes, I go to the east lot. And I asked this guy, I can't find my truck. And I'm lugging my Rockies equipment bag. I got my suitcase and been on the road for 10 days. And they said, no, the long-term's over there. It's in the west parking lot. So we got to go all the way across the airport.
Oh, my goodness.
He gets out there, and about 800 yards later was there. But when you get to the big leagues, he said you forget a lot about that. Not to make any excuses, but it was a 4:30 call and about a 12-mile hike with 2 suitcases, Doug. That's not fun.
He's missed on his first 3 pitches to A.J. Ellis, D. Gordon, and then the pitcher's spot due to follow. Rockies down 5 here in the 7th. They were smoothing out a little bit of delivery issues, but I think some of it was smoothing out the
mind.
Yep. A little amped up at times.
Slow the game down.
Leadoff walk. That is walk number 5 allowed by Rockies pitching today. George talked about it at the start of the game. In the 5-game winning streak, Rockies had walked only 8 men. They've nearly equaled that number here this afternoon. Let's go down to the field, and Jenny Kavner has more on Rex Brothers.
Yeah, we talked with Jim Tracy before the game today, and he said he wanted to reiterate to Rex that his assignment down in Colorado Springs was not a punishment assignment, but rather a fix your location assignment. He told Rex he's a valuable part of this team and he needs to be so moving forth. So coming back up, he has a lot of expectations for him. In fact, today he said if we get in a situation when Andre Ethier's at the plate and I need a reliever to come in, you better bet I'm going to call on Rex Brothers. Of course, not knowing that Juan Nicasio would only go into the 2nd today, Rex is going to be called on for a lot more than that. And you guys started to mention.
Well, apparently problem with Jenny's microphone, but she hit on a reality for Jim Tracy, and this could be 2 even with Gordon. Nope, not quite. They get the lead man Ellis, but D. Gordon runs well enough that he beat LeMahieu's relay. But a reality, George, you get the early injury to a starter after the short start last night, as you watch the Rockies try and turn it, and
it really hurts you.
Yeah, right? It'll be something that Jim and his staff and the front office they're going to have to discuss after the game, because it's no doubt that you're going to have to make some changes not only for tomorrow but going ahead, depending on how long Nicasio may be out.
Well, I think the hard part is the beat up bullpen. You got to have arms. You got to have somebody throw innings. You got to have a long man for tomorrow. They just optioned out Carlos Torres, so you can't bring him back for a certain number of days.
Although an injury, I think, would allow you to do so.
Well, you could on the injury side of things.
Yeah, if you put Nicasio on the DL, you could.
And bring back Torres quickly, or maybe Escalona's another guy that's throwing the ball well down there. But those decisions for Jim and everybody else.
Alex Castellanos is pinch hitting for Aaron Harang. So Harang will depart after 6 innings. And Don Mattingly will look to his bullpen to get the final 9 outs. Castellanos, a couple of hits and a couple of RBIs. There goes the runner, and it'll just mean that D. Gordon got the blood flowing. Back to first, young man.
Got loose, didn't he? Now you go back and do it all over again. We'll let you know when you can do it again.
Javi Guerra, the former Dodger closer, who has had up and down results this year, and so they've moved him more to the front end of the pen. Be the guy to come on in the bottom of the 7th. Brothers trying to keep the Rockies down, only 5. Strike 3 called. Tune in after the Rockies game today for an all-new Rockies All Access. Eye of Kadir. We'll take a look through the camera lens with Rockies outfielder and talented photographer Michael Kadir, as he adds to his impressive ballpark photography portfolio. And we'll learn a little bit about what drives that strong work ethic on the diamond for Michael. It's Rockies All Access. Eye of Kadir today after the game. Two outs with Gordon the runner at first and Tony Gwynn Jr. the top of the order. Coming to the plate for the 5th time. Tony 0 for 3, but he has scored 3 times. Rockies will have LeMahieu and Rosario with the double switch, and Fowler, the hitters against Javi Guerra, when they bat in the bottom of this 7th. Dodgers have never trailed. The Rockies tied it at 1, but the Dodgers have scored 5 more times. Good movement on that slider for a first pitch strike for Rex Brothers. Nicasio won an inning and 2/3 when he got hurt. Josh Renicky 2 1/3, and Matt Reynolds 2 innings. 3 runs, 2 earned, charge to Nicasio, 2 to Reynolds, and 1 to Renicky. Hello.
That'll wake you up at 95. Now they call Bach right in the middle of it. The Rex Brothers, I guess, apparently didn't come set. Alfonso Marquez made the call.
So you take the ball back. It's not a pitch. You can hear that's a balk in the background. So that's not a pitch. So the count is 1 strike. Now 1-1. One ball, 2 strikes, or make it no balls, 2 strikes. I'm looking at it on the screen and
still haven't changed it up on the boards either. St. Louis now 19 innings of scoreless baseball have been thrown at them. The Mets win 5-0. It's a final in New York. Lynn took the loss today. Dickey got the win. Lynn goes to 7-2. Dickey to 8-1.
Tell you what,
another complete game for the knuckleballer.
He's had a terrific year. Talk about a guy who has really harnessed that pitch and become very good. Kadir will do it himself, and the walk does no damage. They'll stretch here at Coors Field. Rockies looking for a late comeback, trailing the Dodgers. Telecast is presented by the authority of the Colorado Rockies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Scott Van Slyke comes into the ball game in left field for Bobby Abreu, and right-hander Javi Guerra bumped out of the closer's role, and he has done his best to let the Dodgers know he wants back in.
Yes, he has. Man, oh man, last 12 outings haven't given up. The opposition hit under 200 since May 8th. Almost a month now. He's getting after it really good.
LeMahieu has one of the 4 Rockies hits on the day. Guerra can get it up there with a good fastball. Mid-90s for this guy. Aaron Harang, pretty solid outing, and especially in that 5th inning with the bases loaded and 1 out. Got Gonzalez and Kadire without allowing the Rockies to break through, and the Dodgers added 2 in the 6th inning and are in a comfort zone. 2 strikes on LeMahieu, struck out and singled against Harang. Rosario came in the double switch, will bat next. Probably about as bright here at the ballpark as it's been all afternoon.
It actually looks like an afternoon game now versus an early evening game as it started. The lights have been on all day.
Gordon can't get it, and LeMahieu has his 2nd straight hit. Rockies get the leadoff man on. D. Gordon covers a lot of ground. You can see he's mad. He thought he could get to that ball.
Yeah, the ball wasn't hit very hard, but he's playing a little bit over into the hole, so he had a lot more territory to cover. So this kid takes so much pride in the game and the way he plays defensively. And a lot of people pretty excited. This just off the left side of the mound. If that mound kicks the ball a little bit, he probably knocks that ball down.
Marlene Rosario, home run number 8 last night for the Baby Bull. Didn't like the first pitch strike call of Chad Fairchild.
Well, he threw the slider, but it wasn't your typical slider. I mean, he threw it right at Rosario, and then it broke to the inside corner, not away from him.
Last night, off Chris Capuano.
Trying to throw that back foot slider, and he left it right out over the middle of the plate. Rosario made him pay for it. And all that whole entire game last night, it looked like Capuano was trying to crowd him, not let him extend those arms. They're doing a little bit opposite here with the right hand.
This is a gapper. Wynn will not be able to cut it off. That's going to score LeMahieu. RBI double by Marlene Rosario. Rockies get a run closer. It's 6-2.
Now Rosario coming through with another base hit. That average jumping should be above 240 now, 237 prior to that at bat. And now Rosario with another RBI. Slider up away from him. It's more of a cutter out of the hand of Guerrero, but this is a hard base hit. First run allowed since May 5th. The Rockies with nobody out. You swing it over to the top of that lineup. Maybe you got a shot at building, and it's a 6-2 ball game now.
And Dexter Fowler, who's been on base twice, scored the Rockies' first run after a leadoff triple.
The one left-hander, Elbert, is getting loose. He will be loose for one person, Jack. And that is number 5, Mr. Gonzalez.
2-0 on Dex.
He is 2 for 10 against Gonzalez.
Nice thing, yeah. The nice thing for the Rockies, when they face clubs with only one lefty reliever, if they bring him in for Carlos or Todd Helton, if Todd's in a lineup, then you still have Giambi sitting there waiting for you.
Today you got Giambi and Helton, both guys not in the lineup.
Boy, and Guerra, all that success, but he gives up the roller through the middle for a single, and all of a sudden he's staggering. Fowler's doing a good job making him throw a strike. And not close with any of the 4 pitches to Dex. He draws another walk. Dexter Fowler with the hit and 2 walks today is just about to 400 with his on-base percentage. He was 389 coming into the game.
You can't ask for any more than that. Honeycutt's going to make that trip out right now to have the visit with his right-hander and get him back on track. Hopefully get him back on track with Scudero. Well, you know, a lot of times when you're a guy that throws hard with that hard slider, you want to strike everybody out. Instead of just pitch to contact a little, work ahead and counts. Don't fall behind and get into hitter's counts where you're forced to go with the fastball. Tried to overthrow the cutter to Rosario, and Rosario did a great job of making him pay for it in the right center.
Let me ask you this then, George, maybe a little bit flipping it, but I mean somewhat what Rex Brothers was going through earlier in the year.
Motor gets running too fast, and it doesn't have a governor on it. Doesn't know how to back that thing off a little bit. Hit the brakes. Slow the game down.
Marco Scudero drew a walk his last time up. He has also lined out and been called out on strikes.
Yeah, not that either one of these clubs done a great job today with runners in scoring position. 3 for 12 the Dodgers. Rockies 1 for 6, but they have a chance here to improve that.
5 in a row out of the zone by Guerra. He's walked 10 now in 23 innings. Got the outside edge there. 1-1. Scudero with 10 RBIs, 6 on the homestand. Oh, good breaking ball there, and he gets ahead, does Guerra, 1-2. Second time in this inning we've seen him throw that slider on the inside corner. You're right, as a right-handed hitter you get conditioned against a righty looking for it away.
I'm telling you. And what it does when it comes right at this area right in here, it just kind of buckles the knees, and then you give up on it.
Off the chest of Herrera, they get 1. Scudero beats the relay. Fowler eliminated at second base. To third goes Rosario. And here comes Carlos Gonzalez. Will we see Don Mattingly? I waited for the announcement, and he's going to go to his left-hander. Carlos will wait for Scott Elbert to come in from the Dodgers pen. 6-2 LA. We'll be back in a moment. Sometimes, no matter how well that bat is constructed, hit it on the trademark, that's what you get. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Carlos Gonzalez against Scott Elbert here. The lefty specialist for the Dodgers. And Cargo hits it to Loney. He'll go to second for one. On to first for a double play.
Can you hit it any harder?
Hit it right at him, and in one pitch, that ends the rally. Rockies get one, but no more. Hit hard, but right at Loney, and the Rockies trail 6-2. Today, and that's kept for the moment the Rockies from getting another taco special. But if you want tacos and you'd like to receive a text message alert when the Rockies score 7 or more runs for the Rockies taco special, just text the keyword taco to 720-720. Message and data rates may apply. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Well, the game of baseball can be humbling, and for all of the great work Carlos Gonzalez has done for the Rockies today, it hasn't gone his way, although the Rockies still have 2 innings left as Rex Brothers will try and keep the deficit to 4. Elian Herrera 2 for 4. Switch hitter bats right-handed against Brothers. Knocked in 2 on a ground ball up the middle that knocked Juan Nicasio out of the game in the second inning with a left knee sprain. Rex Brothers a leadoff walk last inning and then got the next 3 easily. Strike 2. Big Scott Van Slyke and then Andre Ethier will follow. Two and two.
Well, why don't you try to be one of the first 21,000 to the gates? You'll receive a Rockies baseball cap courtesy of Coors Light. It'll all happen with the Angels in town. June 8th. Baseball cap, just kind of like remember old bat day at the ballpark, cap day at the ballpark. Which ballpark canceled bat day?
first, you mean?
Well, when they had, then they have what's that?
Just over the head of Brothers. Nice play by Marco Scutero as he ducked that piece of the barrel of the bat of Herrera to get out number one.
Wasn't there a ballpark about 2 or 3 years ago that had bat day, and then it kind of got a little rowdy?
Yeah,
and
they
had
brought
to
it
cancel
back, and yeah.
Was that Chicago? Here's a little grounder. Nice play. You got to follow the bat. You got to follow everything going on. But he just shatters this bat in half of Herrera. That's what Brothers does. And then a nice reaction by the shortstop Scutero to get to the baseball and clean exchange with the hands and be able to get Herrera at first.
Big Scott Van Slyke now. Played first base last night, and he's learning that position, and it was evident last night. Dodgers with 4 errors, and Van Slyke's inexperience at the position as well impacted. Strike 2. His dad Andy was a great athlete and
Tremendous.
good size, but not as big as the kid.
Yeah, the kid grew up. Kid got more sunshine or water, one of the two. I don't know, but he's bigger than Dad. Dad's coaching now. De Jesus' dad is the hitting instructor for the Houston Astros in the minor leagues, I believe.
Well, in Andy Van Slyke's prime, I mean, he was a poster child for 5 tools.
Yeah, no question. He was the Larry Walker of his time. For me, I mean, he was that great player.
Count holds at 2 strikes on Van Slyke. Rex Brothers, the 3rd Rocky reliever out of the bullpen. 23 pitches at the moment, 24 pitches. My computer has. They have 25 on the scoreboard.
Not bad for 2 innings, 1 out.
Yeah.
2 count. They fouled off quite a few pitches. There's that. I like that hard slider in underneath the feet. 88 miles an hour.
Battle of good young pitchers in Washington this afternoon. Steven Strasburg outdueled Brandon Beachy. Nationals beat the Braves 2-0, and Brian McCann had to leave that game. Got hit on the left knee. 2-2 now on Van Slyke, and you saw what happened to the Braves when they went through that stretch without Chipper Jones, McCann, and Freeman.
They were almost 10 games under 500 without those guys.
Yep.
It's not pretty. Freeman's got the new goggles. He's doing pretty good with all that.
2-2. Tyler Colvin right in the track of that one. And the right fielder for the Rockies registers the 2nd put out of the top of the 8th. It is a simple thing when you lose, and that's what the Dodgers are adjusting to. And really, the acquisition of Bobby Abreu at the time was done just because he was available, worth doing. But with the absence of Matt Kemp, maybe until the All-Star break, some of the Dodgers people are talking to try and protect this guy at the plate. Andre Ethier, Abreu becomes a huge factor.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And I think, you may have to put some. I still think Ned Colletti will go and get another bat somewhere. Veteran guy someplace. I was talking to him today before the game, and I said to Ned, I said, I don't get it. How do you pull this off every year? You come up with a pitcher, you come up with a guy mid-season. The year goes Ted Lilly, other times. And he said, there's Ned. He said, you know what? Here's the thing about it. He said, the last thing you want to do is not pull the trigger on a trade. So then you get in September. And those last 2 weeks, you need an arm, you need a bat, you need something, and you don't have improved with your club. You can get heartbroken real fast. And he said, I try to keep from getting my heart broken. And he's done a pretty good job as a general manager there with the Dodgers after working for the Cubs for a long time, the Giants for a very long time.
2-2 now on Ethier as Brothers with a little bit of giddy up on that one at 96. Rockies down 4, but they got 6 outs left. And Rex Brothers trying to get the offense ready to roll.
He might have got up at 4:30, but he didn't leave the heat at the house. 97 with that fastball.
After a long look, he's set. Full count. Ronald Belisario, the big right-hander, has moved into their 8th inning role, and Ismail Rogers staying loose. Got him. They'll tag him out at the plate. Rex Brothers, with his second punch out, has 2 shutout innings. Rockies looking to rally here in Denver. Far, and after the way the week has gone, that's a huge development, but they have 6 outs left, and they'll try and start the comeback against the big right-hander Ronald Belisario.
Well, I tell you what, he got here a little bit late this year, but I'm going to tell you what, it's been good. 2 runs, 12 relief appearances for this right-hander. He's got tremendous movement on his fastball. Very good breaking ball, effective against both the left and right-handers.
He's allowed just 7 hits. The opposition hitting $179 against him, and only one of those hits has been an extra base hit. Michael Kadire, RBI double in the first inning, but grounded into a fielder's choice in the 5th when the Rockies had the bases loaded and couldn't score. That looms as the big point in the ball game. 2 strikes on Michael playing first base this afternoon. Rockies have been out hit 10-6. And unfortunately, just 1 for 8 today with men in scoring position. They've stranded 7 on the bases. Dodgers have left 10 on. But they have the 6-2 lead. Tyler Colvin, Chris Nelson will follow. Then the pitcher's spot is due. Plenty of time for Tony Gwynn Jr. to camp under this one. Kadire is the first out. you're just joining us, the Dodgers knocked Juan Nicasio out of the ball game. A 2-run single by Elian Herrera in the 2nd inning. Back up the middle, and as Nicasio went to grab for that ball, he did so awkwardly and sprained his left knee. Obviously, right at the moment, the extent of that issue is not going to be known, but a pitcher hurting a knee, he's not going to be running right back out there. Tyler Colvin down the left side, long run for Van Slyke. He's going to get there. 2 away. Seven for 41 now against Belisario, and
pretty special. I mean, it's just that good hard fastball, quick delivery. They'll throw the breaking ball down and away.
Well, his return really helped the Dodgers when Guerra ran into trouble.
You know who's having a great year? Jonathan Broxton.
He sure is. Kansas City.
He came off that elbow thing, and going to be a setup man over there. And then Sorio goes down with his 2nd Tommy John in his career. And Broxton has been special.
He got, I know, at least
12.
12. I knew it was double digits. I didn't know exactly the.
Looked it up yesterday. I saw it. I was just like, man, this guy's really come back in a strong piece. And if they're out of it, that might be a pretty nice trade piece to the Yankees. They might need a closer over there. Or one of the other ball clubs, and see if he gets some players back to kind of restock, because the Royals, unfortunately, have had an awful lot of injuries to their young starters. Duffy, it's one of those guys. All of them having elbow surgery. Right now, Broxton 0-1, 1.74, 21 games, 12 saves on the year.
Kansas City 6 for 6 and 17 at home this year.
Not playing well there at all. And they've got the All-Star game.
Second baseman Kennedy gets Nelson, and the Rockies go quietly against Belisario. We'll head to the 9th, 6-2 LA. Online only at Southwest.com and by CDOT. CDOT reminds you it's click it or ticket time. Don't risk a $65 fine. Take 2 seconds to buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. Back here at Coors Field as we move into the 9th inning. Rockies are down 4. Coming up on the Toyota postgame show, what do we have in store? Well, Joel Klatt has the answer.
That's right, Jack. And before you see us again, we hope we can get some more runs. How about a little comeback from the Rockies? Plus, we'll talk about the bullpen. They're spent right now. 25 innings on this homestand during the win streak and into today, up to this point in the game that they've pitched so far. Plus, the triples crown. Dexter Fowler, his 44th triple as a Rocky. That's only 5 short of the all-time lead as a Rocky. Nefi Perez holds that. We'll talk about him, and we'll get you all updated on Juan Nicasio. Jack, back to you guys.
All right, Joel, thank you very much. And the Rockies will have Esmil Rogers on the bump for the 9th inning.
Well, the right-handers starting to figure some things out. Last 7 appearances, 368 earned run average, 8 strikeouts, just 4 walks. Worked an inning in yesterday's ball game when he came in for the Rockies and pitched the 9th inning. and had given up a double. But he also worked some fly balls and got out of it without any damage. So Ismail coming here trying to keep things in order. In the top of the ninth, the Rockies trail it by 4.
Adam Kennedy, who had a 2-out RBI single in a 2-run 6th inning. We talked about the inability for the Rockies to score in the 5th with the bases loaded, and the Dodgers scored 2 in the top of the 6th, and that's really been the turning point in this game. Kennedy battled Matt Reynolds and got the RBI single. And for a guy hitting right around 100 on the road, it was a big RBI. In fact, it was his first RBI on foreign territory this year. 2 strikes on him. Nope, no swing, says Tom Hallian down at third. 1-2. Davey Lopes will let that one slide by. Saw recently the Dodgers had a little ceremony honoring that second base, first base, shortstop, third base combo that was together for all those years. Lopes at second base.
Yeah, Say, Russell.
On the left side, Steve Garvey at first base.
Ooh, nice catch. That was a really nice catch.
Well, the only thing wrong with that is the jersey he's wearing.
Exactly. Kershaw jersey on, but this is a line shot. He reached out and kept a lot of Rockies fans happy. I'll tell you that.
Colvin coming on. He'll make the catch. Kennedy a 1-for-5 afternoon. Rockies will have a pinch hitter, LeMahieu and Rosario, as the scheduled hitters in the bottom of the ninth, and it looks like Kenley Jansen is throwing out there in their bullpen. It's a 5-game losing streak. They haven't had much of a chance to use Jansen. Who's the big guy out of Curacao? James Loney, 2-for-4 on the day. Singled in the 3rd, doubled in the 5th. Nicasio, an inning and 2/3 when he got hurt. Josh Renicky, 2 1/3. Matt Reynolds, 2 innings. Rex Brothers, 2 innings. Brothers look very good. 2-1 on Loney. Brothers, no hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. A little bit outside, apparently. 3-1. Alex White and Nathan Eovaldi in the finale tomorrow. Will it be a rubber game, or can the Rockies rally in the bottom of the ninth and keep the streaks going for both sides?
I'll tell you, there's a young kid that just came up, Andrelton Simmons, who came up to the Atlanta Braves to play shortstop. 73rd pick in the draft a couple of years ago. His son, Western Community College in Oklahoma. 99 miles an hour on the mound. A lot of people had him turned in on the mound. I mean, he's from Carousel, and that's what made me think of it when you brought up Jansen out there. Started thinking about that, but they brought him up really quick. That's going to slice and cargo. Sure. Wow. No stop playing the game hard for Carlos Gonzalez.
That is special.
We're going to be giving high fives to him right now if you're Smell Rogers. A lot of guys with at this time of a game, they see this kind of effort, but he's like a lot like Tulowitzki. There's only one way to play the game, and that's the hardest way to play the game, knowing that wall's on the other side of everything. Perfectly timed on his dive and stretch to get to this baseball.
Now, Carlos saying in spring training he was working on making sure he landed right, you know, after the issues that he's had with his hand and wrist.
It only makes sense, wouldn't it?
2-0 here on A.J. Ellis. You know, he is a guy who plays hard all the time and wants to be great.
I think that's the key to what you just said. There's some guys that have an awful lot of talent that they don't know what kind of talent they have, if that makes sense to you. I mean, they realize they're pretty good. He wants to be in that upper echelon of, when you talk about 5 best players in the game, National League and American League, he wants his name in that grouping of 5 or 6 guys.
That's why he smashed his bat in the ground when he fouled out with the bases loaded.
No question.
And it wasn't about his numbers, it was about not coming through for his team. Oh, what a good breaking ball there, and a strikeout for Rogers. Rockies with one more shot. Can they keep the winning streak going? Carlos Gonzalez with the defensive play of the day. See if that's a spark. In center field here at Coors Field, and let's hope he gets disrupted by a ball that lands out there.
Yeah, really.
Bottom of the 9th inning. Jack Corrigan from 850 KOA sitting in for Drew Goodman this afternoon with my buddy George Frazier. It's been a good fun, day, other than the score.
Yeah, it's been a great day up here to do a ball game. Great weather here, but the Ducks last night weren't flying. They haven't flown again today. Nice to get some balls over the wall, but it's going to be a tough task. You know, once again, what really I think shined today is the bullpen, able to just kind of contain things here for a while until you gave an opportunity to score runs. Harang was good.
Aaron Harang was very good, and of course the big moment in that 5th inning, bases loaded and 1 out, and he gets Carlos Gonzalez and Michael Kadire, and then the Dodgers scored those 2 in the 6th, and that really flipped the game.
Yeah, flipped the game completely over for you then, kind of limits what you're going to do if you're Jim Tracy, and would be a bit surprised now if he uses EY to try to get a spark going. That's what he will do. Use EY here to get things going, and you know, if you get that shot to try to tie it, that's when you go to Giambi and help.
So Kenley Jansen, who has been very solid out of the bullpen since assuming that closer's role. A couple of blown saves early in the year. when he was the setup guy. EY hits from the left side and we'll try and get something started.
Well, it's all about throwing strikes with your fastball to start things off. EY, a spark plug type guy that's going to get you to hit the ball on the ground. You see most strikeouts, Jansen, the second behind Chapman. Chapman's a guy that runs at the mid-hundreds. Seems like he does.
Seems like he does. That's
crazy,
right.
yeah. Cutter there at 93. His first offering, an 89-mile-an-hour cutter. Something Jansen has really tried to perfect coming out of the bullpen.
One of his 6 saves against the Rockies. One ball and 2 strikes on EY. As a pinch hitter, 3 for 15 for Eric. From the left side, anyway. Did he hold up? Yes, he did. 2-2.
Don Mattingly wanted to see this thing get called. I think he held up on everything. Bat never came all the way around.
Meet base runners, down 4. The 2-2. And a 3-2.
That's what EY does. Work counts, do any way you can to get to first base. Let your speed create havoc for these guys. Move the defenses around a little bit. We've seen it happen many, many times. 3-2, 4-run lead. Let me see your fastball. Give me a strike.
And on the outside corner, and the fastball rings up young. EY flipped his bat away. Whether he was mad at himself or Chad Fairchild, he's the first out.
And he wears a lot of emotion on the sleeve. I think he was upset because the pitch thought it was off the plate. It appeared to be off the plate. That's why he didn't swing at it. Thought it was ball 4.
Instead, it's out number 1 on the 7th strikeout of the day for Dodgers pitching. DJ LeMahieu has 2 of the Rockies' 6 hits and scored the 2nd run for Colorado in the 7th inning. Ball 1 to the LSU Tiger. Inside corner, says Fairchild, 1-1. Interesting, with a name like LeMahieu, it made all the sense in the world for DJ to be playing down in Bayou country.
Absolutely.
But he wasn't from there. Nice play by Herrera on the smash, and he'll get LeMahieu for the 2nd out.
Well, it's all about reaction at third base. That's exactly what he did here. Let that ball carry, and he slide step, stopped himself, and then got to his feet and able to make the throw over to first base.
So the Rockies down to their final out, trying to keep the winning streak going. Waleem Rosario came on in a double switch in the top of the 7th, and then had an RBI double in the bottom of the inning. Ball 1 from Jansen. Dodgers trying to win for the 2nd time this year in Denver and stop a losing streak of 5. They hadn't won since last Sunday at home against the Astros. This might get out of play. Yeah. You get statistical anomalies all the time in baseball. Of course, we have so many numbers, and you always at times scratch your head wondering why it happened without really an explanation per se. I mean, last year the Rockies owned Saturdays. It was like just pencil in a W on Saturdays.
Sunday, a little problem.
Yeah, but last year Saturdays were great. This year Saturdays have been an issue. They've won only once, and that was the first home Saturday of the season. They beat the Diamondbacks here at Coors Field. They are 1-7 on Saturdays. This should end it. Ethier and Gwynn. It's going to be Ethier making the catch. And the Dodgers end the Rockies' 5-game winning streak and their 5-game losing streak. The Dodgers jumped out early, and behind the pitching of Aaron Harang, they go on to beat the Rockies. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Visit jimmyjohns.com to find a location near you. And it was Aaron Harang who was the guy for the Dodgers today. A couple of times you see the strikeouts that he had, 6 on the afternoon, but none bigger than that bases loaded situation when the Rockies had a chance to climb back into it. Dodgers win this afternoon 6-2.